awaits. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
And welcome back to the New York Knicks pregame show on ESPN New York. It is brought to you by Infinity, where the Knicks, ahead of game number 2, are in need of a bounce back against the Indiana Pacers, something the Knicks, this group of Knicks especially, has been very good at during this era of Knicks basketball. The tough-mindedness, starting with the head coach Tom Thibodeau, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and others up and down this Knicks roster. Tom Thibodeau was asked why this team is usually able to bounce back.
Hopefully from building the right habits over the course of the season. There's going to be ups and downs, and it's never about, it's how you respond to the next challenge. If you're looking backwards, you're not focused on the things you need to focus on for that particular night, and it's all about, you have to earn your wins each and every night.
And this is the Knicks Coaches Report, brought to you by Optimum, as the Indiana Pacers take the floor for pregame warm-ups to a chorus of boos to the filling-in crowd here at Madison Square Garden. Obviously, after what happened in Game 1, a lot of eyes on the Knicks captain to lead his team back. So with Jalen Brunson in that position, what is it about his character that helps him in these situations?
Yeah, it's just who he is. I think that, the way he prepares himself, it sets the tone for our team. The best leadership you have are the things that you do. It's not, oftentimes, it's a misconception when people think a loud person is the leader. That's oftentimes not the case. On every team, the leaders are the guys who do the right things each and every day.
That was the Knicks Coaches Report, brought to you by Optimum. It was in many ways an anomaly that led to the Knicks losing game number 1. What Aaron Nesmith was able to do, hitting 6 3-pointers in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, had never been done in the history of the NBA in that situation. So does Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle understand and appreciate how special that was for his team on Wednesday?
Yeah, there have been some special moments, really, throughout our season, but it's, you've got to turn the page and move on to the next thing. It's over. Those things are over. We're fortunate. I mean, New York dominated a large portion of that game, very obviously, and we did some great things in the last 7 or 8 minutes, whatever it was. But all that's over. We cannot live in the past feeling good about that. Today's day 3 of 13 days in this series, and we've got to be ready. There's going to be a very significant increase in their presence, physicality, everything from the jump, and it's to be expected, and we're going to have to be ready for that.
Time now for the Knicks player profile, brought to you by your local Honda dealers. The Knicks could really use a lift off the bench. They've been getting it in recent games from Deuce McBride over his last 7, dating back to the start of the Boston series. McBride is shooting 48% from downtown and making 2 3-pointers per game, and averaging 8.1 points per game. That was the Knicks player profile, brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today. When we come back on New York Knicks Game Night, which is presented by Infinity, Monica McNutt will join me for her thoughts and a preview of game number 2. I'm Pat O'Keefe, and you're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This is the sound no parent wants to hear. It's the sound of a child with whooping cough, one of the many dangerous childhood diseases that can be prevented by immunizations. Whooping cough can cause serious complications, including pneumonia, seizures, brain swelling, and even death. Babies are most at risk. The best way to protect your child against diseases like this is to get all your kids' shots on time and take them for regular checkups. Talk to your child's healthcare provider. A message from the New York State Department of Health.
Total Ortho Express is a state-of-the-art orthopedic care center with 4 Long Island locations: East Meadow, Syosset, Massapequa, and Deer Park. Injuries can happen at any time and can often require immediate attention. Total Ortho Express provides immediate walk-in orthopedic care from highly awarded specialists and surgeons, instead of waiting in an emergency room or a general urgent care. Total Ortho Express is open 7 days a week with extended hours, so that our patients have convenient and immediate access to the care they need. Learn more at TotalOrthoExpress.com.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer. Until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infiniti QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, welcome back to Madison Square Garden as we get you set for game number 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks looking to bounce back from their 138-135 overtime loss to the Pacers in game number 1. Here in game number 2, each team with its same starting 5. Of course, for the Knicks, it's Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, and Towns. The Pacers starting Andrew Nembhard and Tyrese Halliburton with Aaron Nesmith, the hero of game number 1, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner. The New York Knicks pregame show on ESPN New York is brought to you by Infiniti. The Knicks, a lot of things to like in that game number 1. We're in position to win, of course, with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter as Monica McNutt, who's on the call tonight with Tyler Murray, joins me. Monica, Tom Thibodeau, Rick Carlisle, the players on the Knicks side especially, they're finished talking about the end of game number 1. What I want to ask you is most of game number 1, and over the first 45 minutes, what positives do we take away from the Knicks' performance?
I thought their level of focus and their level of execution, Pat, and I think that's a great question. They got up on that 14-0 run because they had the perfect balance of both scoring effectively at the Pacers' pace, but their defense was also connected, right? Deuce McBride, Cameron Payne, both guys that are a part of that run, and one of the big questions coming into this series was about would Tom Thibodeau open up the rotation. So there's a sample size so far in this matchup that should give him confidence moving forward.
Whether you're broadcasters like us or fans or anyone who follows this team, one of the first things that's usually said to describe this Knicks team is toughness, whether it's physical toughness or mental toughness. I've got to think it's going to take a certain amount of that to flush the end of game number 1. What are you expecting tonight in that area?
It's flushed. I completely agree with you. The one thing we know about this team through the postseason is their ability to bounce back, and they relish the opportunity to correct the errors of the previous performance. So while that was a big-time emotional finish for both teams, I do expect both teams to move on through it. Look, the Knicks are 6-3 in clutch games this season. The Pacers are 6-0. That comeback, as much to the chagrin of many a Knicks fan, was their third such comeback of the postseason. So, I mean, they know how to flush it, and the Knicks certainly have proven this postseason that they know how to bounce back after losses as well.
And the Pacers have done that now to 3 different teams. As we look to game 2 now, Monica, let's get to your Knicks keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, I'm going to say variance in pace because I don't want to get folks get confused. I actually thought that was sort of where the Knicks let go of the rope a bit in that fourth quarter. They were still trying to play at the Pacers' pace, and they no longer needed to. They needed to be mindful of time and score. Then my next 2 keys, Pat, we don't usually do this, but it's the postseason, so let's do it. A better Jalen Brunson and a better OG Anunoby. Jalen Brunson with 7 turnovers, 3 in clutch. That part in particular is exceptionally uncharacteristic of him late in the ball game. And OG Anunoby just bobbling the basketball, being kind of goofy and silly. And although his ultimate numbers were not bad, all of us that have watched him and seen him play some of his best ball in the previous 2 series know that he's capable of a much better performance. And then my last key is going to continue to be defensive rebounds. Don't allow this team to get going off of O boards and make sure you're getting back on defense.
All right, Monica, big one tonight. Have a great call.
Thank you, Pat.
That was the Knicks keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. And the New York Knicks pregame show on ESPN New York has been brought to you by Infiniti. Coming up next, it is game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. Tyler Murray, Monica McNutt of the call. I'll be back with you at halftime. Enjoy it, everyone. I'm Pat O'Keefe, and New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
This has been the Infinity New York Knicks pregame show. Get ready. New York Knicks basketball is coming right up.
Hey Knicks fans, now at Verizon, they're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's their best price ever on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, they got you. Visit your local Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price ever on unlimited welcome with terms and conditions apply.
Spring has finally arrived, and if you think a new central air conditioning system is
36
out
months
of
with a
your
new line on
budget,
unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Spring has finally arrived, and if you think a new central air conditioning system is out of your budget, think again. Sloman's is here to change the game with our Spring Fling sale. We're now offering cutting-edge 18-SEER 2025 refrigerant-compliant R454B systems, expertly installed by our certified technicians, all at the lowest prices of the year. That's right, get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. And we're including a comprehensive service plan for the first 5 years, with annual system checks to keep your AC running smoothly all summer long. Servicing Nassau, Suffolk, and Queens County. Call Sloman's at 516-932-7000 for your free estimate. But hurry, these cool savings won't last. That's 516-932-7000. 18-month promo period, no payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. The offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, Passport, or CRV. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 1.99% APR on a 2025 Ridgeline or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Pilot, 2026 Passport.
Given that the Pacers were down by 14.
Halliburton makes it 125-125, and we have overtime.
New York Knicks basketball is on the air.
And the Pacers get the job done, stunning this home Knick crowd. They take a 1-0 Eastern Conference Finals series lead.
The New York Knicks, are you ready?
I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be thinking about it, but I think our mindset has to be short-term memory.
Knicks basketball starts right now. Live from Madison Square Garden for the Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks versus the Pacers. It's Game 2. Now here's Monica McNutt, and with the play-by-play, here's Tyler Murray on the MSG Radio Network.
It's an Eastern Conference Finals edition of Friday Night Knicks at MSG. So glad you're with us for Game 2 of the NBA's semifinal round, as the New York Knicks will look to overcome the type of loss that simply has not happened before since they started tracking such things in NBA history. But if there's any team in the NBA that's proven they can bounce back from adversity, even the greatest kind of adversity, it is these New York Knicks. It's going to be a tight series and certainly feels like a long series, and a 1-1 split going back to Indiana wouldn't be all that crazy or too much of a mountain to overcome. Right around the corner from opening tip-off with Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. Why don't we pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This is ESPN New York, WHSQ, WCBS-FM HD2, and WEPN New York.
Getting set for Knicks basketball, Game 2 against Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers. A lot of folks are calling it the Tyrese Halliburton-led comeback, even though he only scored 6 points in the fourth quarter on Wednesday. It was 20 points from Aaron Nesmith. Monica, does anything really need to change for the Knicks aside from late-game execution? Were you pretty happy with what they looked like for 3.5 quarters, or is there something more that needs to happen to get this Game 2 win?
The only wrinkle that comes to mind for me, LT, is perhaps getting Jalen Brunson off the ball so that he doesn't have to see full court pressure every single time. Now, ultimately, when I say off the ball, I just mean somebody else bring it up and he would get it in the half court. But that actually probably applies more late in game, because that's when we started to see traps by the Indiana Pacers.
That's exactly what he said after the Game 5 loss against Detroit. Heading into Game 6, he said, I have to get off the ball more. He hasn't necessarily made that quote this time around, but he's thinking that. And the Knicks are thinking about evening up this series, one game apiece before Game 3 in Indiana on Sunday. Ready for the national anthem. Let's send it down to the PA voice of the Garden, Mike Walshewski.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, for Game 2 of the 2025 NBA Eastern Conference Finals, presented by Delta Airlines. Tonight's matchup features the Indiana Pacers and your New York Knicks. And now, if you're able, please rise, remove your hats. Here to present our nation's colors, please welcome the New York City Police Department. And here to perform the Star-Spangled Banner from the cast of Hell's Kitchen, the Tony and Grammy award-winning musical from Alicia Keys, please welcome Jessica Vosk.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You can spread out. You're good.
Jessica Vosk.
We are ready for Knicks Eastern
now the
Conference
starting line-
Finals basketball, and we will get you the starting lineups after talking about the officials. First, they're always brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today. They've got 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. James Capers, Mark Davis, and Kevin Scott, the officiating crew here this evening. As for those starting lineups, we've seen the Knicks use let's say a 7.5-man rotation. You did see Cam Payne put together 6 points in Game 1, by far his highest scoring output since the playoff opener here almost a month ago against the Detroit Pistons. But first, for the visiting Indiana Pacers, the starting 5 put together by Rick Carlisle. It will be Tyrese Halliburton and Andrew Nembhard in the backcourt. No need to talk about Tyrese Halliburton. You've probably heard a whole lot about in the last 48 hours, as the Knicks will try to prevent his third consecutive 31-point game. Andrew Nembhard, though, he was limited during regulation because of foul trouble. He had just 8 points across the first 4 quarters, but then had 7 in overtime alone, including the game-sealing layup on a back cut that extended, or gave the Pacers the lead. It was then extended for good on the Obi Toppin jam. On the wings, it is Aaron Nesmith and Pascal Siakam. So a lot to say about Aaron Nesmith's fourth quarter performance. We'll pick this stat. He scored 20 points in the final 5 minutes of regulation. That is an NBA record. And he wound up going 6 of 7 from 3 in the quarter alone, 8 of 9 for the game. And he is now the best three-point shooter in the playoffs at 54%. Pascal Siakam has had an interesting matchup with OG Anunoby really the last year and a half, but especially in Game 1. Siakam scored 17, Anunoby got 16, and neither guy shot all that well. They were both in the low 40s. We'll keep an eye on that showdown between two Toronto teammates of old. And then Miles Turner, interesting game for him at the center position on Wednesday. He hit each of his first 5 shots, but then missed 5 of his final 6, so 11 of his 13 points came in the opening quarter. Knicks starting 5 being introduced. It is Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges in the backcourt. Big numbers on the positive and negative side for Brunson on Wednesday. 43 points, so the 3rd time in the last 2 years he's put up 40 in a playoff game against Indiana. But he had a career-high 7 turnovers, and a couple of them coming in overtime. Brunson, though, did break Bernard King's record with his 8th 40-point Knick playoff game that he has tied in orange and blue. Mikal Bridges, he just missed it by a couple of votes there. Anunoby, if you've watched him all year, absolutely deserves to be all defense. You can maybe even argue first team, so we'll see how he responds after what you could certainly call a snub. Karl Anthony Towns, a playoff career high 35-point effort on Wednesday, 11 of 17 from the field, 4 of 8 from three-point land, which means he made more triples on Wednesday than he did across the entire 6-game series against Boston. When it's game time in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's Tully time. The opening tip is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the all-new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Tom Thibodeau said, quote, "We have to take this disappointment from game 1 and turn that into more determination." As Pat O'Keefe told you in the pregame show, neither coach really all that interested in talking about game 1 or how it started or how it ended or what it means for the whole series. And we will take that same mentality. Of course, if you get a 1-1 split the first 2 games of the series, it always feels a little bit better if your win comes in game 2. And as Rick Carlisle said, this is day 3 of 13 days, so he is fully scheduling a 6 or 7 game series for the right to go to the NBA Finals. Knicks are in white tonight, says New York on the front in orange. Numbers on front and back in orange as well. And the Pacers have their yellow unis with Indiana in blue on the front. Numbers on the front and back in blue as well. 2 taps from Karl Anthony Towns. He wins the opening tip back to Jalen Brunson. And we're underway in game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Mikal Bridges out high, defended by Tyrese Halliburton. Backdoor cut, feed to Anunoby, and a 2-hand jam to start the scoring. Anunoby gets the crowd going on the very first possession.
A 2-hand jam and an outstanding catch to start the game by OG Anunoby. That is a good sign.
From right to left go the Pacers. Halliburton near midcourt, near sideline, top of the key, switched on to Towns. Dishes right to Siakam, takes a dribble, hands back to Halliburton up top. Drives on Towns, who stays with him, tried to step back to the right wing, and now he has to back all the way to midcourt. Towns sticking with Halliburton, but he sidesteps into a right wing 3 and back rimmed it. Offensive rebound, Nembhard stripped out of bounds by Hart to the near sideline, and the fans, deservedly so, giving a nice ovation to Karl Anthony Towns for hanging with Halliburton on the perimeter.
The bigs are going to have to be able to hold the line on the perimeter. The Pacers are diligently hunting mismatches.
Nembhard left side drive, caught underneath the hoop, zips a pass along the baseline to Siakam on the far side, steps back to the free throw line and drains a jumper from 14 feet to tie the game 2-2.
Pascal Siakam is my X factor to watch for the Indiana Pacers, not because he played poorly in game 1, but because he is capable of having big games that swing the flow.
Josh Hart, top of the arc, watched by Nembhard, hands right to Karl Anthony Towns, trying to get a handoff to Brunson. They will. Near side angle, dribbles to the right corner, picked up by the taller Turner, drives baseline, hangs in the air, blocked from behind by Turner, who leads the playoffs with almost 3 blocks a game. On the break, Siakam muscles past Bridges and gets a roll off the right-hand layup to make it 4-2 Indiana, 90 seconds in. Nick ball from left to right in the white unis tonight. Left wing Brunson, hounded by Nesmith, one of the leaders in fouls in these playoffs. Anunoby pump fake to far corner 3, attacks the paint, dishes out to Towns, wide open straight on 3, air ball, wide left, and out of bounds to the left baseline.
Result outstanding. That was a well-executed possession by the New York Knicks.
With Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. Knicks looking to even this series up, heading back to Indiana on Sunday. Siakam near side mid-range. Fall away is good over Anunoby. So Pascal Siakam, a personal 6-0 run off the early Anunoby jam. It is 6-2 Indiana. Brunson out high, pick and slip with Bridges, catches on the left side. Now on the far side mid-range, tries to back down Halliburton, and a whistle and a 3-second violation called against Indiana. Shades of Jalen Duren from round 1. It will send Brunson to the free throw line for a technical. It is 6-2 Indiana, 9:43 to go in the first.
Did you say free throws?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Much maligned performance from the free throw line in game 1, leaving 12 at the stripe, and of course 2 pivotal ones down the stretch in regulation.
Well, Brunson makes sure the Knicks start 1 for 1, and they'll keep possession down by 3. ThriveWell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. Far side inbound from OG Anunoby. 3 blocks and 3 steals in game 1. Did have 16 points, but just 2 of 8 from downtown. Right side angle Bridges, catch and drive baseline along the near side against Halliburton. Now he dribbles into the paint and misfires on a dotted line jumper off to the right. Halliburton scampers ahead. Near side arc, steps back to the top of the key, dishes left to Siakam. He'll take a left wing 3, rattles out, and Towns reaches sky high for the rebound.
A small detail, Mikal Bridges does a good job of staying with Halliburton.
Inside Anunoby, double teamed in the restricted area, tried to kick it out, but it's stolen by Halliburton. Across midcourt from right to left, ball fake to the near corner. Instead, he finds a wide open Siakam, who slams home his 7th and 8th points of the game. It is 8-3 Indiana, 3 minutes in.
I really am disappointed that I was this accurately in terms of identifying Pascal Siakam as an X factor, because boy, is he having a start.
Yeah, back-to-back 21-point games to close out Cleveland in round 2. Brunson takes Neesmith to the foul line. One arm pass to Anunoby, far corner, catch and shoot. 3 is good. It's the former Raptor teammates dueling here in game 2. 5 points for Anunoby, 8 for Siakam. It's a 2-point game.
That's a great shot by Anunoby. He's much better when his offense is clean. That was a great catch and shoot.
Siakam wants another, and he's got it from straight on. A 3-pointer. He's got all 11 Pacer points. They lead by 5 with 8:18 to go in the first.
Is this going to be the sort of the tell of the series? One guy on the Pacers having a quarter of their career?
Better the first on the 4th as Brunson got run over off a pick and roll with Towns. They will call a foul on Indiana. It'll be Miles Turner who threw his arm out at Brunson. Fans responding as if they want a further review on this to see if it's a hostile act.
I do have to give terrific credit to the team that produces the big board here in the Garden, because they are giving the fans plenty of looks at this.
And it'll be pump fake to far angle 3. Now he drives. He's sealed off by Siakam up top to Towns. Nearly a logo 3. That's off the back rim. Rebound fought for. Tipped by Hart, but a foul called on Josh Hart. He got some of the ball, but a lot of the body. And Pascal Siakam went down to draw the foul.
Loose ball, well, I don't know. Loose ball rebounding calls are some of the most fascinating to me.
Very difficult to determine.
So difficult.
That's why I'm glad we're not officials. 11-6, Indiana with the lead. 7:52 to go in the first quarter. Nembhard near corner. Up top for Turner. Passes to a cutting Siakam. Catches in the lane, and he missed a shot off the bottom of the rim. He was falling down, slipping, and maybe thought he got pushed by Anunoby. Hart speeds ahead and couldn't bank home a tough right block leaner over Nembhard.
We've seen these nights for the Knicks where they just can't buy a basket. Hopefully the lid comes off the rim soon.
Neesmith, the right wing triple is good. He stays hot from game 1, blows a kiss to the crowd. He's made it a 14-6 Pacer lead, 7:20 left in the first.
So far in this one, it's Andrew Nembhard who is face guarding Jalen Brunson.
Drive and kick from Bridges to the right corner. Anunoby pump fakes a 3, reload, and missed it short. Rebound swatted out of bounds off of Josh Hart. And with 7:10 to go in the first, the Pacers have to love this start. Siakam has 11 of their 14 points. They lead by 8.
For the Knicks, it's not that far of a margin, though. You're just going to have to get a quality look, see the lid come off the basket, and defensively, you can't continue to lose Pascal Siakam as Josh Hart is now guarding him.
Siakam was giving Anunoby the business the last few times down. We'll see what Josh Hart can do. Step back from the free throw line. Siakam misses off to the right side rim, and Hart pulls down the rebound. Remember, the Pacers made each of their first 9 shots on Wednesday, but the Knicks still had a 2-point lead after the first quarter. Brunson sidestep, right wing 3 over Nembhard. He got it! Jalen Brunson with 4 points. It's 14-9.
That play is really interesting because Jalen Brunson goes over 2 screens using the Pacers bigs, and ultimately it's Nembhard that's guarding him at the end of the play.
Pick and pop frees up Miles Turner, but he backrooms a straight on 3, but it falls right into the hands of Halliburton. To the left side, it's Nembhard into the lane on Brunson. Turnaround just inside the foul line is perfect, and Andrew Nembhard has 4 points. It's 16-9 Indiana.
The Knicks are going to have to get on the defensive glass. These O boards for the Pacers are going to come back to haunt them.
One of the major advantages on paper in the series was the Knicks' offensive rebounding, as Anunoby is stripped on a drive far corner by Siakam out of bounds. But if you can believe it, even though the Knicks had more offensive rebounds in Game 1, second chance points was a battle won by the Pacers. Ball out of bounds. It's a timeout on the floor exactly halfway through the first quarter. Another hot start for Indiana, but all that matters, as we've learned, is who finishes hot. 16-9 Pacers. 6 minutes to go in Game 2, quarter number 1. And it's a 1-0 series lead for Indiana. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable, it's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
When you open a Corona, you hear the sounds of wherever you are a little differently. A little more Corona. And you think to yourself, why am I just listening? Corona, La Playa awaits. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Knicks fans, be the MVP of your next summer barbecue or family dinner with the fresh taste of Calandra's Bakery breads. Available at your local supermarket. Handmade daily with just 4 all-natural ingredients and no preservatives and no machines. From crusty Italian loaves to soft rolls and hearty multigrain, there's something for every table to enjoy. Since 1962, Calandra's Bakery has proudly delivered fresh bread to supermarkets like ShopRite, King's, D'Agostino's, Key Foods, and more. From their family to yours for over 60 years, Calandra's Bakery, the best in Italian and French breads.
Well, Pascal Siakam scored the first 11 points of the game for Indiana, which is the longest streak to start a conference final game since LeBron in 2020, Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. He scored 12 in a row to start what would eventually be a championship run for the LA Lakers. It is 16-9 Indiana over New York halfway through the first quarter.
Speaking of Pascal Siakam, he's got 8 shot attempts by his lonesome. The Knicks as a unit have taken 9. Now, do you buy that this guy continues to shoot 5 of 8 from the field at such a high clip? Unclear, but you already saw the Knicks make a little bit of adjustment by putting Josh Hart on him on the last possession and taking OG Anunoby off of him. But at least one of those, he got completely loose. Under the paint, Tyrese Halliburton found him. Easy layup, easy assist for Halliburton.
It's interesting. OG Anunoby is usually the answer to cooling off an opposing player, but he was matched up with Siakam from the start, and he pretty much covered him all of Game 1.
Yeah, the two of those guys played 382 games together, including the playoffs, which is a big number when their time in Toronto.
Knicks ball from left to right. Brunson drives the right side of the rim, stripped out of bounds. It's off of Brunson, though.
As much as we just talked him up, Pascal Siakam was on the bench.
6 minutes into the game, Rick Carlisle has brought in Benedict Mathurin and Obi Toppin to join Turner, Halliburton, and Nembhard. Now Josh Hart pushes Halliburton down away from the ball, and that will be the second foul on Josh Hart with 5:43 to go in the first. Now, we saw some excellent minutes, particularly during that 14-0 run in the fourth quarter, with Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson playing alongside Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, and Jalen Brunson. Halliburton step back right wing, kicks to the far corner, and Nembhard launches a sidestep far angle three and rattles it in. Nembhard has 5 early points and a 19-9 lead for Indiana.
Now, he went 2 of 3 in game 2, but it still didn't feel like he really put his imprint on it. As you mentioned, he was in foul trouble. So let's see what happens tonight.
Brunson's kick out to Anunoby on the far side is off the fingertips of Toppin out of bounds, and Mitchell Robinson will check in. And Nembhard started the scoring on Wednesday. He had a 3-pointer from the top of the arc, but then he went mostly quiet the rest of regulation until scoring 7 points in OT. Towns comes out. Hart will stay in. It is the starting 5 minus Towns and plus Mitchell Robinson. Miles Turner comes out in tandem with Karl Anthony Towns, so Robinson against Thomas Bryant is the big man battle. Inbound comes to Robinson. Knicks from left to right in the white uniforms against the yellow and blue of Indiana. 19-9 Pacers looking to take both games on the road in New York. Late shot clock, Brunson crossover, left side drive, pulls up and nails a mid-range jumper far side of the paint. It's an 8-point game.
This crowd is looking so desperately for a reason to get energized in this ballgame as they react to that mid-range jumper by Brunson.
And the Game 1 and Game 2 crowd in that Boston series were very different from night to night. As Brunson draws an offensive foul, Bryant was trying to set a moving screen, and the officials don't let him get away with it. Knicks ball down by 8.
Now, basketball is a game of runs, folks, but with this lineup, I'd be really curious to see what types of screens Mitchell Robinson sets, and can you get some plays for him at the rim?
Deuce McBride about to check in. It will be a Brunson and Robinson pick and roll left side. Brunson backs down Nembhard, steps back to the foul line and gets called for an offensive foul. Brunson signaling that Nembhard was pulling him into his body, but Brunson's offhand was extended, and they've been consistently calling him for that.
Well, and he also got this arm up around the head and neck of Andrew Nembhard. So now, I thought the Knicks took an ill-advised challenge in Game 1. This doesn't even look like it is under contemplation of challenging, which I'm glad to see. Jalen's going to have to be a little bit mindful. And that sort of tactic, we'll call it, these Pacers guards are going to pester him and bother him and grab and do all the sneaky stuff. So he's going to have to rise above.
Need to show that mental toughness we hear so much about when it comes to this team. Bryant at the top of the arc, hands to Halliburton, drives past Bridges, floater in the lane, very short, long rebound. Brunson wants to run from left to right. Good transition defense, though, from the Pacers. McBride got loose for a four-corner three anyway and rattled it in front of the Pacer bench to make it a 5-point game.
And just like that, the Pacers are up the floor. Mitchell Robinson does a good job of running with Thomas Bryant, who's actually setting up on the three-point line. I don't expect much there, but it's clearly for spacing.
McBride came into the game for Josh Hart and immediately contributes. Then a step back from Nembhard is off the heel. Rebound Bridges, outlet left wing to Brunson, crosses over in the lane on Nembhard. Layup attempt, no, but a foul, I believe. Or no, it went all the way up over the backboard inadvertently and out of bounds off of Brunson. There must have been some kind of contact there. And no, it just fell clean out of his hands. And it skyrocketed half a mile up toward the ceiling. And they call it out of bounds as they should. It is Pacer ball with a 5-point lead, 3:58 to go in the first.
As quizzical as that one is, Thomas Bryant also is writhing in pain on his right hand. Not 100% sure what happened from our vantage point, but we'll be curious to see if he remains on the floor. The Knicks, however, in that last possession, you could see Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride in particular, those guys wanted to run. So they're trying to still capitalize on easy opportunities.
Stoppage in play with 3:58 remaining in the first quarter. The Pacers have a 1-0 series lead, and here in Game 2, a 19-14 advantage with just under 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter of Game 2. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infiniti QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
Hey, Knicks fans, now at Verizon, they're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's their best price ever on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, they got you. Visit your local Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Get a double-digit bonus exclusively for Knicks fans from Food Bazaar Supermarket. Take $10 off of your order of $50 or more when you shop online at shop.foodbazaar.com. Plus, your first delivery is free. Go to shop.foodbazaar.com and use promo code FANSGET10 for the largest selection of international foods, an all-star lineup of the freshest meat, seafood, and produce, and $10 off of your first order of $50. Use promo code FANSGET10 at shop.foodbazaar.com.
Knicks fans, when deciding to take a charter bus, there's only one choice. That's Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in New York City and has been serving New York's leading corporations, professional sports teams, and private individuals for 30 years. They offer premier customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate traveling experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call 212-206-6974.
Nice ovation here at MSG as Walt Clyde Frazier is shown on the video board. Clyde's going to be traveling to Indiana for games 3 and 4, which in some way just feels like it raises the chances of the Knicks winning one, if not 2 of those games. Always a immaculate vibe with Clyde in the building.
That is news to me. Thank you for breaking that news.
Yeah, you better make some room on the plane. For over 160 years, individuals and businesses from Montauk to Manhattan have trusted Dime for all their banking needs. Visit Dime.com for more information. Dime, we've got your bank. Member FDIC. It is a 19-14 Pacer lead with 3:58 to go in the first quarter of Game 2. Indiana looking to do what they did last round against Cleveland, take both games on the road to begin the series. Indiana ball from right to left. They're in yellow and blue tonight. Knicks in the white and orange. Halliburton dribbling at the N in the Knicks logo at center court. Finds Nembhard on the left side arc. Drives past McBride, but now steps back to the top of the circle. End of the shot clock. Has to launch a tough step back, and he missed everything all the way out of bounds left baseline. And the Knicks will take over down 5.
Deuce McBride continues to get better as these playoffs continue. He had 9 points last game, but I think what goes slightly overlooked when he's on the floor is the defense that he brings.
He just was not shooting the ball well against Detroit.
Yeah, he struggled.
But he was at 50% against the Celtics. And continues looking great in round 3. Brunson for 3. Left wing off the dribble. 2-point game and an 8-0 New York run. Halliburton out high. He had Bridges on his hip, but then stepped back, and the reset with a pass back to Halliburton. Pick and roll, and Knicks dropped down, and Halliburton couldn't make him pay. Off the dribble 3 was way too strong, and now New York and Tyre take the lead.
Versus the Knicks, Halliburton has shot below his season average from the three-point line.
Anunoby double teamed on the far side block, gets it up top to Brunson, pass to the right wing for McBride, drives to the right elbow, pump fake, takes the shot, and he ties the game. Knicks on a 10-0 run. They were down 19-9, but were knotted up.
Outstanding patience and control by Deuce McBride on that move. He got Halliburton not only flying by, but completely behind him before he took that jumper.
Obi Toppin with the ball, trying to silence the crowd. He used to energize here at MSG, but then handed off to Halliburton. Top of the key, dribbles to his left, pump fake, close out by Brunson, and then his kick-out pass was tipped out of bounds by Anunoby with just 6 to shoot.
So on the screens, at least so far involving Halliburton, Mikal Bridges, previously guarding him, was doing a really good job of staying home. The Knicks were communicating so that Bridges wouldn't switch. That last time out, it was Brunson and Mitchell Robinson in the Halliburton, and I believe that must have been Bryant's screen action. Mitchell Robinson does a great job of holding for a hot second so Jalen Brunson can recover. Excellent communication on the screening defense so far.
Well, 10-0 Knick run to tie the game with 2:23 left in the first. Rick Carlisle has pushed the TJ McConnell button to try to change it. 10 points for him in game 1, all on layups or free throws. He sets up a 3-point try for Pascal Siakam, and Anunoby fouled him on the right side perimeter. So 3 free throws coming up for Siakam, who just checked back into the game after scoring Indiana's first 11 points of the first quarter.
You live with this foul, though, if you are the Knicks and OG Anunoby. He does a great job of trying to fight over the Thomas Bryant screen to contest. And in the fight over that screen, Pascal Siakam was so close to that screen that the contact is a little bit inevitable there. But it was a great effort by OG Anunoby.
When Siakam checked out, it was a 16-9 Pacer lead. He checks back in with the game tied at 19, but he just broke that tie, making the first of his 3 free throws. Of course, part of the 14-0 Knick run in the fourth quarter on Wednesday was 2 separate three-point shooters that got fouled by Indiana. Siakam gets the second foul shot. It was McBride and Towns. They combined to go 5 out of 6 on those collective trips, but if the Knicks don't win this series, the trips to the line that will haunt them are in the final minute from Anunoby and Towns when they both got 1 out of 2. Siakam at the basket to our left. Connects on all 3 foul shots. So 14 points for Siakam in 6 minutes. It is 22-19 Indiana with 2:17 left in the opening quarter. Brunson dribbles across midcourt from left to right despite the efforts of Nesmith. 2 screens from low to high along the perimeter, but Nesmith fights through it. Brunson walks into a left wing 3. That one's short. Bryant fumbled the rebound, and McConnell couldn't save it from the right baseline. Mitchell Robinson got a hand in there to win another new Knick possession with 2:02 to go in the first.
So you got stagger screens at the top of the key, and we've seen this multiple times so far. And Jalen Brunson is really just pounding the rock until he either has a matchup that he likes or gets an angle stepping into the 3 that he likes. Aaron Nesmith is the guy that's been guarding him a lot in this series, but he just liked that angle on that last soft miss from the left side.
Brunson had made each of his first 2 3-pointers before that last miss. Gets a handoff in the far corner off the inbound to Robinson, and then takes Nesmith all the way to the midcourt logo. 7 to shoot, rejects a screen from Bridges, drive the kick to McBride. Right wing triple, rolled around and out. Rebound swatted by Nesmith over to Mathurin, who was limited to 9 points in game 1.
Too bad that 3 didn't fall. That was one of the better deuce chants I've heard from this crowd as a collective.
McConnell dribbling at the left corner against the bigger Robinson, picked up his dribble on the wing and then threw it away. Anunoby stepped in front of Siakam at midcourt, races into the right side basket, and then slams it home after a pump fake to make it a 1-point game with 90 seconds left in the quarter.
I continue to say, when the Knicks get a 20-point performance from OG Anunoby, in which they are 6-0 when he does that, it often correlates to how good he is on the defensive end.
Mathurin on the near side arc takes a dribble to get to the top of the key. Off the dribble, left elbow jumper over Brunson, wide left, rebound Robinson. That's a Boston Celtics type possession there. The Knicks will take that all night. Bridges right wing. Screen from Mitch out high, pick and slip. Left side of the paint, Bridges drives, turns, finds McBride right wing. Now to the left side, Anunoby drives to the far side block on Siakam. Step back 2, short. Robinson boxing out well, and he forces a loose ball foul on Thomas Bryant. That will not be free throws for New York, which is probably good news with all due respect to Mitch. 53.9 to go in the first quarter. They're down 1, and they'll get the ball back.
You are so polite when you're shady.
It's called being passive-aggressive, I'm told. Second foul on Thomas Bryant. However, Mitchell Robinson heroically made it 7 of his last 8 free throws in that Celtics series.
Listen, the Mitch free throw thing is well documented. I'm only teasing, partner.
Inbound to Bridges, right side baseline, 10 to shoot. He's got Turner on him. Takes him across the paint, out of the far block. Pump fake, leans in, and a foul called. A little late whistle, but clearly some contact there from Turner. His second foul will send Mikal Bridges to the free throw line, and this strangely feels important for the Knicks, Monica, because Bridges did not take a single free throw in round 2 against Boston. He got to the line twice against Indiana on Wednesday, but he missed them both, and that was early on, and unfortunately that would be a harbinger of some late game free throw struggles.
Harbinger, it's a good SAT word.
You said quizzical earlier, so trying to match you there.
Okay,
as
let's go.
Bridges connects on the free throw at the basket to our right. It's 22-22. 46 seconds remain in quarter number 1, and once again the Knicks have for now survived a red-hot start from Indiana.
Basketball is truly a game of runs, especially with these 2 teams in particular.
Second free throw, no. Offensive rebound, Anunoby out to Brunson. Pump fake to right wing 3, reloads, lets it fly, missed it short. Robinson, an offensive rebound. Back up to the logo for Anunoby. Sets a screen after handing it off to Brunson. Pick and roll, alley-oop. OG with the jam, and the Knicks take a 24-22 lead.
You know, I called for a little alley-oop action with Mitchell Robinson, but it is actually his presence that still allows for that to happen, because Pascal Siakam was so locked in on Robinson on the block that OG Anunoby got loose.
You said these fans have been waiting to erupt all quarter. They finally have their chance. A 15-3 Knick run. Siakam trying to end it, 15 to shoot. Step back foul line jumper is good off the back rim to tie the game at 24. It's the first Pacer field goal in 5 minutes. 24-24 the score, 6 seconds to go. Brunson speeds down the lane, missed a lefty floater. Tip in by Robinson off glass. Knicks up 2, 3 seconds left. McConnell across midcourt with 2 seconds. Launches at the horn and almost drilled a 47-footer. But it's off back iron, and Mitchell Robinson is fired up as he's greeted by his teammates on the left side bench. The Knicks, after trailing by 10, lead by 2 heading into the second quarter, just like they did in Game 1.
And a theme from Game 1 is having multiple guys in the scoring column. There have been 5 folks that scored, with OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson a point away from being in double digits. But we continue to look at the rebounding as well. And the Knicks are +5, 10-5 in the rebounding category. And so far, they've withstanding that run by playing team basketball and playing to their strengths, especially Mitchell Robinson, who's been terrific on the glass with 3 rebounds so far.
And thanks to that last tip in, the Knicks have the lead and a slight edge in second chance points, 5-4. The second quarter of the second game of the Eastern Conference Finals comes your way next. Knicks 26, Pacers 24. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Hey basketball fans, ready for the NBA playoffs? Get in on the action throughout basketball's most exciting time of the year with BetMGM, an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Grand Marnier is an award-winning blend of fine cognac and orange liqueur. It's made for those who live to step outside the box, who like to put a twist on the traditional, and believe in a world that's not just good, but grand. Visit grandmarnier.com to learn how to take cocktails from ordinary to extraordinary and live grand. Grand Marnier liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2022, Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style. Always drink responsibly.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable, it's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Knicks 26, Pacers 24. And despite 16 points in just 8 minutes from Pascal Siakam, the Knicks have overcome that to the tune of a 2-point lead. They are 4 of 10 from downtown. Jalen Brunson's got 2. Anunoby and McBride 1 apiece. And you've seen both Josh Hart and Karl Anthony Towns neutralized. Hart 2 fouls, so he's only played 7 minutes. Towns came out 7 minutes into the game after missing 2 3-pointers. And since then, Mitchell Robinson has been a major factor for this Knick team. They've got 7 bench points, and the Pacers, who rely on their depth, don't have any.
Well, still lots of basketball to be played, but you know I love chatting with fans.
Yes.
And one of the questions was the bench. One of the comments going into tonight's game was the bench. And my only cautionary tale on the bench is you got to compare the Knicks bench to the Knicks bench and not expect them necessarily to keep up with the Pacers bench. But so far, Robinson and McBride have been great.
Robinson got a hand in to strip Mather in on the near side wing. It's out of bounds off of New York as Tony Bradley has checked into the game. A seldom used player. And now a whistle and a challenge, I believe, from the Knicks. You have me nervous, Monica. I was reading up on Tony Bradley.
You're great on Tony Bradley because, partner, you are one of the most well-prepared folks in the business. But we got an early challenge courtesy of Mitchell Robinson defending on the perimeter. Okay? That's a whoa.
New York is challenging the ruling about a bounce on the play.
We will take a break while they take a look. The Knicks failed in a challenge in the second quarter on Wednesday, which they regretted down the line because a lot of calls could have gone their way with a chance to look at it. But if they win this, of course, they'll still have one more in their back pocket.
Which is why I interrupted you on your Avery Bradley education to our audience, because this is a big deal. Oftentimes we see challenges at the behest of your stars, and don't get me wrong, Mitchell Robinson is important to this team. But at 11:42 in the second quarter, if this don't go right, we are not going to forget it.
Well, the reason...
Upon review, the ball was last touched by Mathurin. Therefore, we have a successful challenge. It is New York ball with 24 seconds on the shot clock. That is a charged timeout because the first mandatory of the period.
The reason I wanted to educate about Bradley is because it's Tony Bradley, not Avery Bradley.
Oh, my bad.
11:42 left in the second quarter. Knicks will have the ball when we come back, 26-24. Here in Game 2, New York in front. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter with high-tech features and excellent reliability. Check out the Honda Civic, Accord, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 4.99% APR on a 2025 Civic or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or HR-V.
Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
Because growing a business keeps you on the go, we've got your bank. Because a steady cash flow is the lifeblood of your bottom line, we've got your bank. Because your workday simply doesn't stop at 5 o'clock, we've got your bank. Dime Community Bank gives you the digital tools you need to simplify your business banking, even deposit checks, anytime from anywhere. And we back our technology with a team that's always there, wherever business takes you. Visit Dime.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
To win the NBA Finals, everything needs to line up perfectly. No different than finding the person you want to marry. When the time comes to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. They'll make shopping for a ring easy. Let them help you pick or design the perfect ring to fit any budget from their 2 by London collection. London Jewelers is committed to getting it just right. So visit London Jewelers today at any of their 6 locations, including Americana Manhasset and the mall at Short Hills. Mention I told you to stop by. You'll get the Michael K. treatment.
This is the sound no parent wants to hear. It's the sound of a child with whooping cough, one of the many dangerous childhood diseases that can be prevented by immunizations. Whooping cough can cause serious complications, including pneumonia, seizures, brain swelling, and even death. Babies are most at risk. The best way to protect your child against diseases like this is to get all your kids' shots on time and take them for regular checkups. Talk to your child's healthcare provider. A message from the New York State Department of Health.
6-24, the Knicks have the lead and the ball because of a successful out-of-bounds challenge and because of foul trouble for both Bryant and Turner. Tony Bradley has come into the game. He played in the G League all of last year, and he has only played a handful of games this year, but he is forced into duty in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. He has only played a total of 16 minutes all postseason.
This is a callback to Game 1 in terms of the Knicks' aggressiveness, putting the Pacers in difficult positions.
Campaign gets a right-wing triple, missed it short over McConnell. Good kick-out pass from Towns to no avail.
Bradley did a good job of blocking out Mitchell Robinson, who's been terrific on the glass.
TJ McConnell motors into the paint, but he's met by Bridges. Up top for Mathurin, trying to draw a foul, and he does with the leaner from just outside the free throw line. Looked like McBride got into his body, so first foul on Deuce, and free throws coming from Mathurin. He had 5 free throws, although he's now upset that James Campers has changed the call, or at least he's now revealing that it'll be a side out instead of a shooting foul.
Ben Mathurin is a real boom or bust guy. He had some big performances in the Cleveland series, but he also had an offer in one of those games.
McConnell down the lane, got around Towns, and hit a floater to tie the game just outside the restricted area. You're right about Mathurin. His career high came against the Knicks, 38 points during the regular season. Now, as Payne worked his way across midcourt, he draws a foul, I believe, on TJ McConnell. Everyone yelling at the officials right now. And it will be a McConnell foul. That's his first.
Well, I'm not sure why Rick Carlisle was so upset. That's whose audio you could probably vaguely hear in the background. Oh, now I see. He's saying Cameron Payne had that arm extended, but it looked like T.J. McConnell tried to drag him down by it.
1 minute gone by in the second quarter, tied at 26. And a stateside as Bridges couldn't hit a point-blank runner as he spun away from Neesmith. McConnell hands to Matherin on the high side wing. Up top to Neesmith now. Drive to the right wing. Hands to McConnell. He'll dart inside. Baseline leaner. Short rebound Robinson. Good contest from Bridges.
Excellent defense on the perimeter by Bridges, Payne, and McBride, switching those screens and meeting the penetration at its point of attack.
Towns on the left wing. Drives past Siakam in the lane. Hook pass to the far corner for Payne, but Neesmith stuck with him, so we'll drive into the paint. Couldn't bank home a righty layup through some contact. Long rebound to Matherin. Outlets ahead to Siakam, and a Euro step gets him free for a right-hand layup around McBride. And Pascal Siakam's got 18 points. It's a 2-point Indiana lead. Delay of game warning on the Pacers. Rick Carlisle hates that as well. 10:09 to go in the second quarter.
Karl Anthony Towns has had some crafty passes. I don't know that they've been to teammates in the best position to score.
He had 2 assists on Wednesday. Only 3 assists the entire second round. He'll catch the ball on the right side baseline. Drives past Siakam. Took a hit and scored and one off the window. And he flexes his right bicep. Towns has tied the game. Will get a free throw with 10 minutes left of the second quarter.
For some reason, I don't know if Pascal Siakam just tripped, but he falls at the top of the key. And in his recovery time, Karl Anthony Towns already has the basketball and is into this baseline move. Back to the basket on the right side, drop step with the right foot, inside shoulder, left side, finish, and one. Textbook, a thing of beauty.
It's his first basket. Hopefully that gets him going. His only previous 2 shots were long, unsuccessful three-point attempts. Gets the free throw to go, and the Knicks have a 29-28 lead. 9:49 left in the opening half. McConnell, left side arc. Screen from Bradley, the third-string center. McConnell matched up with Towns. A kick out from the free throw line to the right wing where Siakam can't hit a 3, but Bradley gets an offensive rebound. His kick out was stolen by Bridges. Mikal Bridges from left to right. Over to the right wing for Payne. Top of the arc, it's Towns. A smaller Neesmith on him. To the left side of the paint. Took a bump, threw it up, and scored from the left elbow. No call, and Towns isn't complaining for one. He scored 5 straight Knick points. They lead 31-28. Robinson got a hand in on a Bradley catch, but he got it back. Siakam to the right elbow. Dribbles to the far side perimeter as Towns stays with him. 10 to shoot. Far side baseline drive. Sealed off by Towns.
Excellent defense by Karl Anthony Towns.
Forces a tough mid-range step back, but then fouls Siakam as the shot missed short. Towns will pick up his first foul. And foul shots coming for Siakam, who can get to 20 points.
It does not.
Oh, let's see. Did that bounce off the front rim and drop in?
That's a terrible call. And it shouldn't be a landing area thing because Pascal Siakam falls unnecessarily. That's an awful call.
And that shot went in, Monica. Bounced off the front rim. Not quite as high as Halliburton the other night, but then it hit the back rim, then backboard, and somehow found its way through the net. So Siakam hits the free throw.
I guess
tied the game at 31. He's got 21 of their 31 points.
Unless we cannot see Karl Anthony Towns actually touching that elbow of Pascal Siakam, that's an awful call. But the Knicks didn't react in terms of challenging it, so maybe they saw something from their vantage point that we can't.
My best guess is landing area. But
Siakam's already out of control. Anyway, we're moving on.
Towns will back down Siakam, and he can't respond. Missed a far side bank shot off a post move. Neesmith across midcourt, got away with a travel according to the fans in the front row. Matherin slices to the foul line, drives into McBride, blocked by Robinson, but it comes to McConnell, and of course he scores off a fortunate bounce for Indiana. 33-31 Pacers. And they're on a 6-0 run.
The Pacers get the friendliest bounces on the road as we've seen in game 1.
We're tied again as Payne finds Robinson for an alley-oop. Great hook pass from the middle of the paint. It's 33-all.
No bounce on that finish. That ball goes straight through the net with force.
8:09 to go in the first half. Knotted up again. Matherin out high. Dishes right to Siakam, asking for a handoff with Neesmith, but he runs over Payne, and that's an offensive foul. First personal on Aaron Neesmith. And with 8:02 to go in the second quarter, the Knicks will take over in a tie game as a host of Pacers take off their warm-ups. It'll be Halliburton, Nembhard, Toppin, and Turner checking in. And Siakam will be the only guy staying on the court still. Oh, he's coming off. Matherin will remain on the floor.
This is a big part of Rick Carlisle's philosophy. It is evident that he just believes I've got enough guys and I can go deep enough that I'm going to outlast your best efforts. The Knicks so far are getting great minutes from their bench in terms of allowing their starters to rest to potentially match this rotation.
Rick Carlisle playing Tony Bradley is the equivalent of Tom Thibodeau playing Ariel Hukporti. Down the lane, Towns got whacked in midair as he tried a right-hand layup. We'll see if it's on Turner or Toppin. It will be on Obi Toppin. That's his first instead of Turner's third. And Towns will go back to the free throw line, looking to break a 33-33 tie with 7:51 to go in the second quarter.
I love this take by Karl Anthony Towns, though. He very easily could have pulled up for a mid-range shot, could have stayed where he was on the catch. But we talk about him playing downhill, and that's an excellent example of what it means.
Yeah, another way he shows how truly unguardable he is. Three-level scorer. Great first step as he drains the free throw. Towns is 2 for 2 tonight. 6 points overall. It is Brunson and Anunoby with the team-high 9 apiece, while Pascal Siakam has 21 of the Pacers' 33 points.
I don't know if that formula will equal success for them. They are a team that so much shares the load in terms of scoring. And so this, to me, doesn't feel sustainable in terms of them being victorious.
Towns gets both free throws, so a 2-point Knick lead, 7:51 to go in the second. One thing about Siakam is a lot of his scoring comes in the post, and for Indiana, that slows them way down. So in a way, it's not the worst outcome in the world if you're letting Siakam go off and limiting everybody else.
Yeah, that's a great point because they have not played typically as fast as you're accustomed to them.
Toppin, wild left side shot, air ball over Robinson. Remember seeing those shots from Toppin in orange and blue. Left wing in transition, McBride for three, back rim, long rebound, tip to Towns, high side wing, he'll launch a three, it's good. Karl Anthony Towns, another personal 5-0 run. Timeout Rick Carlisle. It's 38-33 New York with 7:17 to go in the second.
Effort on both sides of the floor, and Tom Thibodeau says you've got to give maximum effort on both sides of the floor. Mitchell Robinson as a defender has been all over the place, disrupting shots, blocking them, and holding his own on the perimeter. Meanwhile, one of the greatest shooting big men ever is doing his thing here at the Garden.
5-point Knick lead on a 7-0 run with 7:17 to go before halftime. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer. Until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infiniti QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
Knicks fans, be the MVP of your next summer barbecue or family dinner with a fresh taste of Calandra's Bakery Breads. Available at your local supermarket. Handmade daily with just 4 all-natural ingredients and no preservatives and no machines. From crusty Italian loaves to soft rolls and hearty multigrain, there's something for every table to enjoy. Since 1962, Calandra's Bakery has proudly delivered fresh bread to supermarkets like ShopRite, King's, D'Agostino's, Key Foods, and more. From their family to yours for over 60 years, Calandra's Bakery, the best in Italian and French breads.
Attention Knicks fans! Looking for infusion care that puts you first? ThriveWell Infusion specializes in delivering cutting-edge therapies for rare diseases and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis. Trusted by physicians across specialties, ThriveWell offers private state-of-the-art infusion suites and slam-dunk treatment from their highly trained medical team. From New York to New Jersey and across Long Island, experience care, comfort, convenience, and compassion like never before at a ThriveWell location near you. Find out more at ThriveWellInfusion.com. That's ThriveWellInfusion.com. Saving lives drip by drip.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Knicks by 5 on a 7-0 run, powered by Karl Anthony Towns, who has all 10 of his points in this second quarter. 7:17 to go before halftime in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Total Ortho Express is a state-of-the-art orthopedic care center with 4 Long Island locations. They're open 7 days a week with extended hours so that their patients have convenient and immediate access to the care they need. Learn more at TotalOrthoExpress.com. My long-lost cousin Bill Murray is here. He got a great ovation from the crowd.
I actually would love that to be a true statement.
What's your favorite Bill Murray movie?
Space Jam.
That is an unbelievable answer. Larry's not white. Larry's clear. What a ridiculous line from an all-time great. 5-point Knick lead. They will continue with the double big lineup. Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson, they were on the floor for the entire 14-0 run in the fourth quarter on Wednesday, and they're joined by Cam Payne, who's continued to play well, Deuce McBride, and Mikal Bridges.
This is how you get the most out of your rotation without having to get out of character in terms of extending it. Your bench guys play really well and allow your starters to rest.
Nembhard and Turner pick and roll out high. It sets up Bridges against Nembhard on the right wing. It dishes to a cutting Toppin, catches at the foul line. 2 long strides into a righty layup that he missed around Towns. And McBride speeds ahead from left to right.
Towns caught a little bit flat-footed on that initial cut. He's fortunate that he doesn't get called for that call. He had his hand in Toppin's back.
Knicks in white, Pacers in gold. Towns on the right side, spins on Toppin in the lane. Leader is good, 7 straight from Cat. And the Knicks lead 40-33.
12 points for Karl Anthony Towns all here in this second quarter.
Halliburton trying to silence the crowd. Pump faking a drive left side of the paint. Dishes to Toppin near corner. Hesitates as Towns closed him out. Gets it to Nembhard. Steps back into a left arc triple and drains it. Big shot from Andrew Nembhard to silence the crowd and make it a 4-point game. 6:20 left in this opening half. Cam Payne a little overzealous, working his way to the right side block. He lost his balance and then the basketball out of bounds. And the Pacers will take over, having dominated the turnover battle in Game 1. They only gave it away 7 times on Wednesday and forced 7 Jalen Brunson turnovers.
Yeah, that is, kudos to them. Very uncharacteristic of Brunson.
Toppin stonewall to the right elbow by Towns. Hands off to Halliburton, high side corner. Now back to the left wing for Turner. Pump fake and a drive in the paint, and he stuffs it on Robinson. 5 quick points in response for Indiana, and Tom Thibodeau calls timeout and then uses the Lord's name in vain. 40-38, Knicks lead the Pacers. 5:59 to go in the second quarter.
One of the big conversations coming out of Game 1, and partner, I know you avoided the national conversation, but I was a part of it, so I'll tell you, was the variance for the New York Knicks in terms of playing at their pace. That last turnover by Cameron Payne, playing a little bit too fast, not getting settled defensively on this last position. That's a cross-court pass that you got to be in position to contest. Miles Turner doesn't have a crazy first step. Come on now, Mitchell Robinson can be a better defender than that. These are the small moments that matter in the arc of what I believe is going to be a long series.
Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. Knicks by 2, but a 5-0 Pacer run has brought life back into Indiana's squad, hoping to get both games on the road in New York. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This is ESPN New York, WHSQ, WCBS-FM HD2, and WEPN New York.
Knicks 40, Pacers 38, 5:59 to go in this second quarter. Knicks basketball also brought to you by Calandra's Bakery. Visit your local supermarket to try their all-natural handmade artisan breads made with just 4 ingredients and 0 preservatives. Visit calandrasbakery.com for locations near you. Out of the timeout, with a 2-point lead, the Knicks will get Brunson back on the floor. Same story with Josh Hart, who has played only 7 minutes so far because of 2 early fouls. Mikal Bridges, Deuce McBride, and Mitchell Robinson round out the lineup. And immediately off the inbound pass, Josh Hart draws a foul. He caught the ball an inch away from the left baseline on one leg. Didn't look like he was keeping his balance, and Obi Toppin got called for a push-off. The Pacers no longer have a foul to give. It is the second foul on the former Nick Obi Toppin.
High-level defense was not something that I remember Toppin for when he was in a Knicks uniform. Now, he's been able to adjust to the system that the Pacers operate in, but still.
A double dribble on Mikal Bridges down the middle of the lane. Apparently stopped and started again. And the Pacers will take over with a chance to tie or take the lead. 5:44 to go in the second.
Now this is going to be interesting. The bench guys, Cameron Payne in particular, Karl-Anthony Towns also obviously scored that 12 points over their run, but they had such a momentum. Let's see what this group does.
Nembhard drives down the left side of the paint, stopped by Bridges' left block. Resets up top with Turner, who hands to Halliburton near midcourt. Pick and pop. Turner catches out high and travel. The old double foot jab step with Deuce McBride pressuring him, and the Knicks take it right back.
The double foot jab step. That's great, partner.
I got called for that so often.
I'm sure you did.
Really?
Sure it wasn't the cha-cha slide?
You don't have any faith in my handle?
No, I believe that you are self-aware.
Monica McNutt, the king of banked in three-point shots for Georgetown.
Talk to me nice. It's a skill.
She promises she did it on purpose.
I did.
Knicks ball up 2. 5:17 left in this opening half. Brunson, right side perimeter, picked up by Ben Shepherd, who just checked in. At the foul line, leans in, pump fake, fade away from the dotted line. Front rim, no. Fell off the left side of the cup. And it's picked up by Halliburton. To his left for Toppin, to the near side wing, hands off to Nembhard, sets a screen for him. Nembhard defended by Bridges, inside to Toppin, over the smaller Brunson. Double team comes from Hart, so a kick out to a wide open Shepherd, and he cans a 3 in front of the Knick bench to give Indiana a 41-40 lead on an 8-0 run. And McBride got stripped at the top of the arc by Turner. Comes to Halliburton, no look pass to a cutting Toppin. Driving kick is stolen by Hart in the near corner. Big hustle play back on defense from Josh Hart. Right corner 3, Deuce McBride, very short off a late contest from Nembhard, but Robinson pulls down his third offensive rebound. Up top to Hart, finds McBride on the right side angle. Inside to a wide open Bridges, and he banks home the go-ahead layup. 42-41 New York.
To me, that is a better example on the offensive rebound by Mitchell Robinson of the pace that the Knicks customarily play with.
Turner, left block on the smaller Hart. One dribble, post move, drop step, missed a baseline layup. He was too close to the rim. Bridges on the other end. Knicks from left to right in white. Pacers in gold and blue. Bridges stripped from behind by Nembhard and brings up Obi Toppin, who jams it home conservatively after a missed highlight dunk on Wednesday.
All right, so now you got a couple things happening. Mikal Bridges was bringing the ball up to help alleviate some of the pressure off Jalen Brunson, but he's maybe not as keenly aware of a guy on the back top, which is what Nembhard did to force that turnover. So he's got to be a little bit more alert.
The fans wanted a moving screen in transition that freed up Toppin, but no call there. Brunson turnaround, left elbow jump shot, got it over Shepherd. Knicks back in front, 44-43, 3.5 to go in the first half.
Ben Shepherd, pick up where you left off last year in terms of being in the torture chamber trying to guard Jalen Brunson.
11 for Brunson. Towns has the team high with 12. Halliburton from long range misses again from straight on over Robinson for 3. And Hart will bring it up into the front court. Left elbow, dribbles in a circle, feeds a cutting Bridges far baseline, stopped by Halliburton. Now he posts him up, far side mid-range, dribbling with the right hand, middle of the paint, fadeaway jumper around and out. Bridges stuck on 1 point. Rebound Hart, kick out Bridges, and he missed a 3 off the heel. Robinson got fingertips on the offensive board, but it's secured by Nembhard. And Rick Carlisle calls an angry timeout, with the Knicks leading the Pacers 44-43. Just under 3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Knicks are +5 on the glass, and that's something that you've seen over the last few plays. Guys creating ways to give the Knicks second chance opportunities. Now, they haven't necessarily cashed in on all of them. They've got 10 second chance points so far. That's 4 more than the Pacers have in this ballgame.
Knicks basketball brought to you by Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. I mentioned the slow start from Mikal Bridges, 1 of 5 from the field, 3 points. But it's almost better for him to save his production for late in games. We saw it against Boston so many times. And in game 1 here on Wednesday, he had 14 points at halftime, just 4 the rest of the way. And the Knicks obviously faltered in that fourth quarter. So keep your eye on number 25 in white, Mikal Bridges, or at least your ear for us mentioning him, as the Knicks lead the Pacers by 1, 2:54 to go in the second.
Mikal Bridges in game 1, and folks might disagree with me, but I will continue to die on this small hill in connection to game 1. Bridges was 0 for 2 from the three-point line, or from the free throw line, I'm trying to say. The Knicks missed 12 free throws. I still contend I will live with the swing and the lead, the momentum, 17-14, wherever you want to mark it. Free throws to me could have saved the day for the New York Knicks. Now, obviously, that's hindsight. But I still maintain that if this team shoots the free throws better, and if they shoot their free throws well moving forward, they should be in good shape.
And the two historic numbers for Indiana: come back from 14 points down with under 3 minutes to go, and a comeback from 9 points down with under 1 minute to go. Nobody's done that before in playoff history. And to pull off something like that, you have to get the leading team to miss free throws, and it happened twice for the Knicks, so you're right, Monica. Nembhard and the Pacers go from right to left. Nembhard, nice crossover to get around Hart, but he's blocked at the rim by Anunoby coming over on help defense, and gets a point of thanks from Josh Hart, who was beaten off the dribble. It's out of bounds off of New York, but just 7 to shoot for the Pacers, down by 1. Anunoby 3 blocks and 3 steals on Wednesday. Halliburton off the inbound, left side drive in the paint, hangs in the air, misses another right-hand layup, and the rebound snatched by Robinson. 2:27 left in this opening half. Knicks ball from left to right. They lead 44-43 after scoring 69 points in the first half on Wednesday, tying a playoff franchise record. Brunson right elbow turnaround over Nembhard. Got another one. Andrew Nembhard kindly cannot guard Jalen Brunson.
That's such great footwork by Jalen Brunson. I remember last year being a talking point that even though he's a guard, he's got footwork like a big. Deuce McBride came out of his shoe at half court.
And Halliburton took advantage with a right side leaner off glass, and he finally has a point. Tyrese Halliburton, with 2 minutes left in the second quarter, is on the board after starting 0 for 5. Of course, he did most of his damage in the second half on Wednesday as well. Brunson left side perimeter, rip through move, and it draws a foul on Shepard. It is the 5th foul in the quarter on Indiana, so free throws for Brunson, with New York leading 46-45, 102 seconds to go in the second.
Should not be surprised, but it's worth noting this is a very efficient performance for Jalen Brunson so far. 5 of 10 from the field, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, good for 13 points. He is challenging Ben Shepard, who's gotten a lot of time guarding him in this first half. Big contrast to game 1, where he didn't come in until late in that fourth quarter.
Brunson gets a kind roll off the front rim and connects on the free throw. Now, Monica, we have seen Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride play the entire second quarter. That doesn't mean they're going to...
You talked it up, though. One of them's heading out.
Mitchell Robinson gets a standing ovation from the MSG crowd.
He heads to the bench with 7 rebounds and 4 points tonight. I just love the way that Rick Carl talked about him prior to game 1, and he's plus 11, right? He came into the series, he was plus 40-something.
He was, series best, plus 46 against the Celtics.
46 versus the Celtics. And Carlisle is like, look, he changes the dynamic of what the Knicks do, and it is so true. And that's without being a prolific scorer.
Rick Carlisle also keeps bringing up Precious Achiuwa as an example of the Knicks' depth. Both free throws good for Brunson. 3-point New York lead, 90 seconds to go before halftime. Halliburton steps toward the near side arc, switched onto by Hart. Tough pass to the far end for Siakam, but he caught it, and he attacks the rim to bank home a righty layup around McBride. Great play from Pascal Siakam.
Good effort by Deuce McBride, even though it doesn't pan out. Remember, he had that big block on Siakam in game 1.
23 points for Siakam to lead all scorers. Brunson's got 15 to lead New York. Knicks ball from left to right. They're up by 1. 69 seconds to go in the first half. And Brunson has another left elbow turnaround post jumper over Nembhard. 17 for the captain.
He just does it so quick. Turns over that left shoulder and gets squared again to take the jump shot.
Knicks by 3. Brunson poked it away from Nesmith on a left side drive. Out of bounds left baseline. 54 seconds to go. 14 to shoot. If you're Rick Carlisle, do you put somebody else on Jalen Brunson? He's hitting that shot every time over Nembhard.
I feel similar to how I felt in game 1, that the game really won't even start from Rick Carlisle's vantage point until the second half. So we'll see. I think that's a fair observation.
Inbound to Siakam, far side mid-range, gets it to the right wing for Nembhard, sets a screen for him. Now they post up Siakam on the far side against Brunson. At the elbow, dishes to a cutting Nesmith, and he banks home a tough runner over Anunoby. Back to a 1-point game with 40 seconds left. Brunson has the last 8 points for the Knicks, and it's Nembhard's matchup again on the left side. Screen from Anunoby, passes to Towns on the near side arc. Ball fake and a drive to the right elbow, looking for some contact, and they don't get the call. Misses the right side runner.
That's the first time tonight I feel like Karl-Anthony Towns has looked at the officials. He's got to keep just going downhill through the contact.
That's a good point. He's been playing through a lot of that adversity. It was a 2-for-1 shot attempt. Not make, of course, but Indiana cannot hold for the final attempt of the half. 9 to play, 3 to shoot. Foul on jumper. Siakam rolls around and out. Rebound tipped by Toppin, collected by Towns with 3. Across midcourt for Hart with 2, and he draws a foul on Nembhard at midcourt. It'll be free throws for Hart, who is talking to the officials before he takes the foul shots with just 1.5 remaining in the second quarter.
I think this conversation was about the extension when Pascal Siakam was backing Josh Hart down. The call, though, the whistle at half court goes against Tyrese Halliburton for impeding Josh Hart's progress illegally.
So that is his first foul. Would have been the first on Nembhard, but certainly contact first from Halliburton. And Knicks fans are taking a risk here with these chants.
Yeah, especially considering game one. Y'all better chill.
They are chanting overrated. Not necessarily at anyone. Maybe they're saying that Aaron Nesmith won't hit 8 3-pointers again tonight. But of course, Tyrese Halliburton was apparently voted by a group of anonymous players as the most overrated guy in the NBA. But I think it was Rachel Nichols who did the math. It was only 9 guys across the entire league who happened to write his name down. In fact, in the second round against Cleveland, Cavaliers fans were chanting overrated, and then Donovan Mitchell, who just made first-team All-NBA earlier today, he quieted the crowd down to try to stop those chants.
You think he was trying to stop the chant, or was somebody shooting free throws?
I think he was trying to stop the chant.
Okay.
But I wasn't there. Josh Hart at the basket to our right. After making the first free throw, will splash home the second. 3-point Knick lead, 1.5 seconds to go before halftime. Nembhard will inbound from the right baseline. Halliburton is waiting at the near corner in the backcourt. Bryant's at midcourt. It comes to Halliburton, takes the catch, then 2 steps and fires it off the shot clock to send us to halftime. Well, the Knicks did not match their 69 points from the first half on Wednesday, but they've come away with a 3-point advantage, 52-49, after trailing by as many as 10 back in the first quarter.
A balanced half, though, and I think the defense of Mitchell Robinson and the rebounding stands out, as does the performance of Karl Anthony Towns getting downhill. The captain, Jalen Brunson, doing exactly what he does. But you continue to keep an eye on the bench productivity. Just 9 points, but that would be dismissive of how impactful the bench has been in terms of allowing starters to get quality rest.
At this point in game one, the Knicks have overcome a similar fast start from the Pacers, but they wound up leading by 7 at the break. Here tonight, it is a 3-point lead, 52-49. Pat O'Keefe has your halftime coverage when we come back. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York, and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
New York Presbyterian gives you the healthcare choices you want, like over 450 locations in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester. Virtual care that lets you connect with us digitally. World-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine, and Health Matters, an online source for the latest health and wellness topics and tips. Experience extraordinary healthcare when and where you need it. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. Restrictions apply.
Ever stop and think about how connected our city truly is? Bridges, rails, towers, all connected by steel, paint, and plain old hard work. We're the New York Structural Steel and Painters Contractors Association. Since 1974, we've worked alongside our skilled partners at Local Union 806 to keep New York's infrastructure safe, sturdy, and visually appealing. From iconic landmarks like the Brooklyn Bridge and the World's Fair Tent of Tomorrow to hidden gems in every borough, our crews protect New York's history with pride and precision. Every day, commuters on the Throgs Neck Bridge, subway riders, and drivers crossing countless overpasses depend on our expertise. We're quietly there, daily, making your journeys safer and smoother. We know it's more than paint. It's about protecting, preserving history, and respecting our city. At the New York Structural Steel and Painters Contractors Association, we don't merely construct buildings. We foster enduring relationships. Visit nySSPCA.net and see how we keep New York connected.
This is Jalen Brunson. I'll be driving in my games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me the all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing too. Just mention that I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory, great deals, and all new and used vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Jalen sent you.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, basketball fans, ready for the NBA playoffs? Get in on the action throughout basketball's most exciting time of the year with BetMGM, an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the Spectrum New York Knicks halftime show. Now, here's Pat O'Keefe.
And on this Friday night at Madison Square Garden, we very much have a ball game. In game number 2 between the Knicks and the Pacers, the Knicks on top 52-49 as we welcome you in to the New York Knicks halftime report brought to you by Spectrum. The Knicks found themselves in an early 19-9 hole. After that, they finished the first quarter on a 17-5 run, took a lead into the second. The Knicks have led by as many as 7 points, and currently the lead is 3. Jalen Brunson, 17 points, and Karl Anthony Towns, 12. All 12 of those in the second quarter, leading the way. Here at the Garden, Pat O'Keefe and Wally Zerbiak again. All right, Wally, kind of a different first half than game 1, which saw a lot of scoring in that first half. But from the Knicks' perspective, what do you like so far tonight?
Well, the defensive attention to detail. To hold this Pacer team to only 49 points and a half means you're completely connected. I think they did a good job on pretty much everyone but Pascal Siakam, who had 23 points. At the same time, if Siakam gets his points and the other guys don't, there's no problem with that. Love what Mitchell Robinson brought to the table when he came in the game. The defensive tone really changed for the Knicks, and with him out there with Karl Anthony Towns, that's a lineup that had a little bit of success. I anticipate we're going to see that a lot in this series.
It's a good point, and it brings us to our best parts of the half, brought to you by Smashburger.
Toppin, wild left side shot, air ball over Robinson. Remember seeing those shots from Toppin in orange and blue. Left wing in transition, McBride for 3, back rim, long rebound, tip to Towns, high side wing, he'll launch a 3, it's good. Karl Anthony Towns, another personal 5-0 run. Timeout Rick Carlisle. It's 38-33 New York with 7:17 to go in the second.
So, Wally, that sequence indicative of what the Knicks are getting from both of their centers. Robinson with the big contest on the defensive end, and then Cat the offensive rebound and that spinning 3. And the Knicks have gotten big contributions from their 2 big men.
Yeah, that's important. Miles Turner struggled a little bit in the first half. He's got a tough matchup trying to keep up with Karl Anthony Towns. And then when Mitch comes in the game, just continue to attack that glass. This Pacer team, they play a frenetic brand of basketball, so they're not always disciplined and blocking out and keeping guys off the boards. A lot of times they have guys leaking out trying to get fast breaks. So you can make them pay on the offensive glass, and Mitchell Robinson did that in the first half.
That was the best parts of the half, brought to you by Smashburger. With locations throughout the New York City area, Smashburger is ready to greet you with a variety of smash-to-order burgers, fries and sides, milkshakes, and more. To find your nearest location or to place an order today, visit smashburger.com. Halftime at the Garden, Knicks lead the Pacers by 3. Pat O'Keefe joined by Wally Zerbiak. And the Knicks in this series so far, you mentioned Robinson, but also Deuce McBride came in, hit a couple more shots, and Cameron Payne, you'd like to see the shot getting going, did a good job running the offense, but overall, how about the minutes the Knicks have gotten in this series so far when Jalen Brunson has to be on the bench?
I think it's been good. Cameron Payne and Deuce McBride out there, they add pace, and they're out there with Karl Anthony Towns, who demands double teams, so he's going to find shots for those guys. So the bench has been good, led by Mitchell Robinson. Deuce McBride's always ready to shoot. It seems like anytime Deuce hits a shot, the crowd goes crazy. He's been shooting a high percentage in these playoffs, so he's got to be ready because there are going to be times where the Knicks need big shots. Brunson and Towns can't do it all. Other guys got to step up and make some, and Deuce has to be ready to do it.
ThriveWell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. So defensively, the Knicks hold the Pacers to 49 points. You mentioned Siakam. He had a big first half with 23 of those 49. Their second leading scorer is Andrew Nembhard. Halliburton didn't score till there were 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. So I guess, are you okay with the Knicks defensively if only Siakam hurts you, or do you want to tighten up on him as well?
You want to tighten up on him as well, obviously. You never want a guy to go for 23 and a half. But at the same time, he beats you mostly with twos and contested twos. You want to take away his fast break transition buckets and his layups around the basket. But if he's beating you with those pull-ups and shooting over guys from mid-range, you can live with that. Obviously, the Knicks have been very disciplined on everyone else defensively. That was a locked-in defensive effort, and this is what the Knicks are going to need to get this game and even up this series.
We've seen Karl Anthony Towns all season long, but especially in the playoffs, have really good quarters and some quiet quarters. And the first quarter tonight was quiet. He didn't score. What did you think about his offensive approach in the second?
Well, when Jalen's out of the game, he becomes the guy. And I love the way Tom Thibodeau leaves him out there on the floor when Jalen goes to the bench, because then you have a bona fide third-team All-NBA player who you can run the offense through. And I think that's when Karl Anthony Towns got aggressive. He took advantage of his height against Obi Toppin, against Pascal Siakam. And, he's got to continue to stay aggressive. That's the key. When Karl Anthony Towns is aggressive and looking to shoot, looking to score, that's when he really poses a lot of problems for defenses.
Rep the orange and blue with the latest pieces from the Knicks playoff collection. Head to Knicks.com to shop now. Knicks lead the Pacers 52-49 at the half. Pat O'Keefe and Wally Zerbiak with you from the Garden, game number 2. We know how game number 1 ended. The last 2 days, a lot of the talk was, how would the Knicks bounce back? What would their mindset be? Well, they fall into that early 10-point deficit, but coming out of that, what do you think about the way the Knicks have kind of put game 1 behind them and looked forward?
Listen, you don't put game 1 behind you until you get a win. That's the absolute goal that has to happen, and believe me, it's in the back of the Knicks' minds, no matter how big their lead is. Right now it's 3 at the half, that this Pacer team can erase it in a heartbeat and in a blink. So the Knicks have to continue to be very solid, no mental mistakes defensively like they had at the end of that game in game 1. They were locked in. If they do that, they give themselves a very good chance to win. They have to play well in the second half to earn the win, because the Pacers, they're a tough team, and there's a reason why they're here in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're not going to give you wins.
All right, 2 nights ago, you and I were here at the half. The Knicks had a 7-point lead. Tonight, it's a 3-point lead. Knicks, like you said, need to close this one out tonight. Wally, what are your keys to the second half, which are driven by Ramsey Mazda?
I think keys to the second half are, get some more bench production. I think that's going to continue to be important, because Rick Carlisle plays 10 guys, and he's looking for combinations that are going to work. So that's going to be very important. I think, the offensive glass is something that the Knicks can really hurt the Pacers with, make them pay for trying to run all the time and leak out. And the third key is going to be, continue to lock down on Tyrese Halliburton. He had 31 points in game 1. The Knicks are doing a really good job at controlling him in pick and roll. He's going to get his assists because he has the ball in his hands so much. But don't let him get going from that three-point line. He's 0 for 4, from the three-point line, and 1 for 7 from the floor. So continue to lock him up.
Wally, great stuff. Fans can obviously watch you and Bill and Alan and Monica on the post-game show on MSG Networks.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Wally Zerbiak here at halftime as the Knicks lead the Pacers 52-49. Wally's keys to the half are driven by Ramsey Mazda. It's the experience of driving a new Mazda and buying a new Mazda from Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. 17 for Brunson, 12 for Towns. Anunoby got off to a quick start. He's got 9 points at the half. The Knicks got a lot of production off the bench. Mitchell Robinson, 4 points and 7 rebounds. Also 2 block shots, and Deuce McBride has scored 5. Pascal Siakam, 23 points for the Pacers. And Tyrese Halliburton, 1 for 7 from the field, and just 2 points so far. Stay in the know about all things postseason on our Playoff Hub. From purchasing tickets to our Crosstown Express schedule and more, head to Knicks.com/playoffs. And that was the New York Knicks halftime report, brought to you by Spectrum, a fast and reliable connection backed by a 100% U.S.-based workforce, so you get the best customer experience possible. Spectrum, second half coming up with Tyler Murray and Monica McNutt. I'll be back with you on the postgame show. Knicks lead the Pacers halftime of game number 2, 52-49. I'm Pat O'Keefe, and you're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This has been the Spectrum New York Knicks halftime show. The second half is coming right up.
This is the sound no parent wants to hear. It's the sound of a child with whooping cough, one of the many dangerous childhood diseases that can be prevented by immunizations. Whooping cough can cause serious complications, including pneumonia, seizures, brain swelling, and even death. Babies are most at risk. The best way to protect your child against diseases like this is to get all your kids' shots on time and take them for regular checkups. Talk to your child's healthcare provider. A message from the New York State Department of Health.
Spring has finally arrived, and if you think a new central air conditioning system is out of your budget, think again. Sloman's is here to change the game with our Spring Fling sale. We're now offering cutting-edge 18-SEER 2025 refrigerant-compliant R454B systems, expertly installed by our certified technicians, all at the lowest prices of the year. That's right, get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. And we're including a comprehensive service plan for the first 5 years, with annual system checks to keep your AC running smoothly all summer long. Servicing Nassau, Suffolk, and Queens County. Call Sloman's at 516-932-7000 for your free estimate. But hurry, these cool savings won't last. That's 516-932-7000. 18-month promo period, no payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. The offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
You want to get the most for your money. That's why more Mazda buyers choose Ramsey Mazda. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-5 all-wheel drive, just $239 a month for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com or at Ramsey Mazda, Route 17 North in Ramsey. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. Excludes tax, title, and registration. 0 security deposit. VIN S0571604. MSRP $29,990 and $6225.
Getting ready for the second half when it's game time. It's Tully time. The start of the second half is brought to you by Tullamore Irish Whiskey, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the all-new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. The Knicks have a 3-point lead at halftime. They had a 7-point advantage on Wednesday. Don't need to tell Knicks fans that it's very much about who finishes better, who's going to come away with what feels like a very important Game 2 victory. Not a must-win, but certainly a can't-lose for New York. And so many of these playoff series, whether it's been chalk or upsets, it's come down to the first 2 games. Both the Knicks and the Pacers are here in large part because of Game 1 and 2 upsets on the road in the Eastern Conference semifinals, ousting the 2 favorites to be here. Of course, it was supposed to be Cleveland and Boston. But these 2 teams both riding high off of sensational upsets. And the Knicks, Monica, you have to give them credit. Obviously an emotional toll after letting Game 1 slip away, but
for sure,
like much of Game 1, it seems like they've had the better of the play, and you hope they can continue that for the rest of the game and certainly the rest of the series.
Well, I think a big key to finishing out this game is that their attention has been heightened courtesy of the outcome of Game 1. And in that regard, you almost see it as a silver lining. Now, if you get to a Game 7 and you maybe lament that loss, like I totally get it. But right now, attention to that detail is heightened, and that's a good thing for this team.
I think this would be a phenomenal third quarter for this starting 5 to silence all the questions on social media and today before the game from some mainstream media members asking Tom Thibodeau about the negative rating for the starting 5. And Tom Thibodeau,
I hate plus minus. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I agree. But Can the Knicks repeat what they did in Game 4 against Boston when the starting five played the entire quarter? They won the quarter, and ultimately it helped them win the game of the series. Miles Turner rattles out a straight-on three at the basket to our right, and Josh Hart pulls down the rebound. Starting five for both sides. That means Nembhard, Halliburton, Neesmith, Siakam, and Turner for Indy. Right wing three for Towns. Short. Rebound Halliburton, who did not score until the final 2 minutes of the second quarter. He is 1 of 7. 2 points, 5 assists. Halliburton down the middle of the lane. Drive and dish. Left wing three. Siakam ties the game from downtown over Anunoby. And Pascal Siakam's 26 points have accounted for exactly half of Indiana's scoring.
As much as I talked about questioning whether this is sustainable, this is a tied ball game at this point. So we'll see.
Brunson, right wing, walks into a three. Short. Rebound tap by Towns off of Nembhard. That's Knick basketball as it trickled along the left side baseline. Not going to be an offensive board for Cat, but he's averaging 4 offensive rebounds a game since the end of round 2.
Superlatives at the end of the half, though. Tyrese Halliburton does have 6 assists, and Mitchell Robinson is your highest rebounder with 7 boards.
Inbound to Anunoby, far corner, finds Towns on the right side perimeter, matched up with Turner. He's dominated this matchup in recent years, but this time he gets stripped in the lane by Turner. It sets up Siakam on the break from left to right. Nembhard, a lefty layup, banked in to give Indiana a 2-point lead and a 5-0 run to begin the third quarter.
Now let's keep an eye on the pace in this third quarter. What do the Knicks do in terms of how they execute, how deep into the shot clock do they go, and what resistance can their defense offer?
Brunson. Far corner spins on Neesmith, step back, leans in, finds Hart underneath the hoop, double team, trying to find Anunoby in the near corner, but it's picked off by Siakam. They get tied up, and it will be a jump ball. The shot clock shows 23 seconds, so if the Knicks win it, they should have plenty of time, although maybe they'll set it back to 14 because there was no clear possession off of the rebound. 10:24 left in the third. Right now, as much as you hate plus-minus, Monica, it is a -5 since halftime for the Knicks, 54-52 Pacers.
I think, again, pace is my thing that I'm watching in this third quarter, and we will now find out about the bench minutes. How fresh are the Knicks starters that weren't on the floor in that stretch, Brunson and Hart in particular, and Anunoby.
Tip is won by Anunoby, so Brunson has it from right to left. He'll find Bridges near side perimeter, knifes across the paint, right hand push shot rolls around and down to tie the game at 54.
To get Mikal Bridges going in the mid-range could be huge for the Knicks potentially. He's only got 5 points so far.
Halliburton matched up with Towns, pump fakes a straight on three, then dishes inside to Turner, who pump fakes Bridges off his feet and then draws a foul.
I actually thought Bridges got ball on that one, but I think he gets ball with his right arm, but his left arm, I believe, is leaning into Turner, and of course he gets off his feet and does make contact.
Yeah, just so tough after that initial pump fake got him. So 2 free throws coming for Turner at the basket to our right. Remember, Turner hit each of his first 5 shots on Wednesday. He had 11 points in the first quarter, but so far through 2+ quarters, he's got just 2 points, and he'll stay at 2 points for now after missing the first free throw. We are tied at 54, 9:53 to go in the third quarter. Indiana, some think, is playing with house money because they've already stolen home court advantage from the Knicks with that come from behind win in game 1. And Turner gets the second free throw, so 55-54. Certainly you cannot win a series with just one game. Left corner Anunoby, pump fake. Siakam stuck with him. Up top for Towns. Jab step right, dribble left in the paint. Met by Siakam. Foul, and he scored. Rumbling down the lane. Karl Anthony Towns, a chance for a 3-point play. And he is still head first down on the floor underneath the basket to our left. Knicks lead by 1 with a foul shot to come, but now the concern is Karl Anthony Towns.
I did not see what the contact was that has him lingering, but he is now up on his feet. It did look like that was about to be a terrible collision for Pascal Siakam as Karl Anthony Towns was striding through with those, size 17 shoes?
He does get help to his feet, takes a walk to the top of the arc at the basket to our left, and then a few large, long steps to the foul line. He's ready to take the free throw. He's got 14 points on 5 of 10 shooting overall, 1 of 4 from downtown, after going 4 of 8 in game 1. Free throw is up and good. 2-point Knick lead, 57-55. Have responded to the 5-0 Pacer run out of the halftime break. Indy from left to right in the gold and blue. Knicks in white and orange tonight for game 2. Halliburton at the logo. Pick and slip with Turner, who catches at the right elbow. Pump fakes, passes left to Halliburton. He'll ball fake and drive around. Drives, and he finds enough space in the lane for a right-hand hammer to tie the game at 57.
Tyrese Halliburton, he's just slightly offbeat, but he keeps his dribble alive and just weaves in and out of defenses until he finds something that he likes.
It's the first time I've seen Tyrese Halliburton dunk in person, I think. Near side wing, Hart and Towns pick and roll. Pocket pass, Towns to the rim. Left to left-hand layup short. And he's behind the play. 5-on-4 the other way. Nembhard ball fakes to the right for Turner on the wing. He'll find Halliburton, who has all night to line up and nail a right corner three. It gives Indiana a 60-57 lead.
I think Karl-Anthony Towns on that last play, just to go back, got hung up between dunking it and laying it up.
It's an 11-5 advantage in this third quarter for Indiana. Brunson blocked on a layup. Towns' follow wouldn't go because of another block, and then he stepped on the left baseline trying to save it, and now he's calling for a foul.
Well, I think both he and Jalen Brunson had real gripes on that last possession. They both got hit in the head on the attempts at the basket.
Nembhard and Siakam pick and roll high side. Nembhard to the far corner, picked up his dribble, now finds Siakam at the perimeter. Halliburton right wing, now dribbles to the top of the arc, directing traffic as Hart watches him defensively. Aaron Nesmith catches far side baseline, turns the corner and drives past Brunson for a right-hand layup. It's a 5-point Indiana lead after trailing by 3 at halftime.
Now, to be fair, the officials also let the contact go on that possession with Jalen Brunson. So if that's how they're going to call it tonight, again, the Knicks are just going to have to play through the contact.
7-0 Pacer run. 4 minutes gone by in the second half. 62-57 Indiana. Brunson up top, defended by Nesmith. Screen on the left from Bridges. Now picked up by Halliburton on the left side arc. Pump fakes, passes inside to Bridges. Turnaround jumper, rattles in. Nembhard came over on a late contest. It's a 3-point game.
Great patience by Jalen Brunson. He helps create that because he dribbles the rock into 2 defenders. Tyrese Halliburton was alone with Jalen Brunson. Aaron Nesmith came to help, and that's how Mikal Bridges got clean. Right outside. Well, yeah, right inside the paint. He spun out. He pivoted out of the paint, so right outside the paint.
Halliburton gets it to Nesmith, top of the arc. Brunson switches on to him. Nesmith to the foul line. Tough runner, too strong off glass. Rebound Towns, and he got fouled by Nesmith. Fans let out a cheer as the call goes New York's way. A frustrating start for Aaron Nesmith. 7 points for him so far after a playoff career-high 30 in Game 1.
He's still been a presence defensively.
Yes.
I think not as effective, although Jalen Brunson put up a 40 ball in the last matchup, but you really could feel the effect of Nesmith late in that ball game.
And here's where you feel the depth of Indiana. Nesmith would probably stay out here a little bit longer with this rotation, but Rick Carlisle, he knows he has Ben Shepherd to cover Jalen Brunson, so he takes Nesmith out. He's still standing on the sideline talking to assistant coaches. He had a frustrating sequence, so the Pacers have the luxury of just taking him out to reset. Brunson at midcourt, ball fakes, and now drives down the lane on Shepherd. Step back to the foul line, slip pass inside to Bridges, turnaround, fall away, far baseline, in and out, and Halliburton gets the rebound.
That's such a normally that's a look that Mikal Bridges knocks down.
3 of 8 tonight. He's got 7 points. Siakam drives around Hart, takes a foul, and scoops home a finger roll in the middle of the lane. 6:59 to go in this third quarter. It's an and one for Siakam, and he'll get the free throw on the other side of the break. Pacers were down 3 at halftime. Now they've got themselves a 64-59 lead with a free throw to come. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Knicks fans, when deciding to take a charter bus, there's only one choice. That's Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in New York City and has been serving New York's leading corporations, professional sports teams, and private individuals for 30 years. They offer premier customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate traveling experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call 212-206-6974.
Not hungry right now? Think about a burger. Still not hungry? Think about a smash burger. Yeah, that's what we thought. Can you hear the sizzle of the griddle? Can you smell the Angus beef? Can you taste the charred perfection? The hunger's kicked in. The salivary glands have turned on like a spigot. It's time to make it yours. Go to smashburger.com to find the closest spot.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infiniti QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
To win the NBA Finals, everything needs to line up perfectly. No different than finding the person you want to marry. When the time comes to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. They'll make shopping for a ring easy. Let them help you pick or design the perfect ring to fit any budget from their 2 by London collection. London Jewelers is committed to getting it just right. So visit London Jewelers today at any of their 6 locations, including Americana Manhasset and the mall at Short Hills. Mention I told you to stop by. You'll get the Michael K. treatment.
Pacers 64 with a free throw to come at Knicks 59. 5 minutes gone by in the second half. Knicks a -8 since the break. Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. With Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. Knicks have to win this one. Not to keep their season alive, but certainly to prevent putting themselves up against the ropes.
Look, 85% of the time, the team that wins the first 2 games goes on to win the series. So, yeah, say it whatever you want, 15%, you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, that's all great, fine and dandy. But the numbers bear out they need to split this before they head back to Indy.
I'm willing to bet the 15%, though, was 2 close losses, perhaps the better team not quite getting the job done. And, you know, a lot of folks after that Game 1 loss pointed to plenty of positives for the Knicks, how they outplayed the Pacers for about 45 minutes in that game. And right now, things are tipping back Indiana's way after a 3-point Knick lead at halftime. Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the New York Knicks, superior light beer. The starting 5 will stay on the floor for New York. Shepard will join the Pacers starting 5 along with Halliburton, Nembhard, Siakam, and Turner. Shepard came in after Aaron Nesmith forced up a bad miss and then committed a frustration foul on the rebound. Siakam's free throw at the basket to our right spins out, so he cannot convert the 3-point play, and Anunoby reaches down low for the rebound.
Ben Shepard back into formation as far as guarding Jalen Brunson the length of the floor.
He didn't do all that well in the fourth quarter on Wednesday. Brunson was 4 of 6 in the fourth, but they're playing the long game, trying to make every step he takes tough in this Eastern Conference Finals. Right side, Anunoby dribbles to the top of the arc, defended by Turner. Sidestep right wing 3, around and out. Halliburton gets the rebound. Anunoby 1 of 3 from downtown. Siakam in the lane on the break, dishes to the right corner, and Shepard misses a 3 off the front rim.
At the half, the Knicks were shooting 33% from 3. They made 5 threes. They're still only made 5 threes.
And remarkably, Indiana is keeping their pace from the whole previous 2 rounds. Anunoby slips inside and banks home a layup off a nice dish from Brunson to make it a 3-point game. Pacers shooting 41% from downtown for the playoffs. They're at 41.2% tonight. Pretty much exactly there. A whistle and a foul away from the ball on the Knicks. Looks like Bridges was grabbing Miles Turner lest he be overmatched inside. 64-61 Indiana, just about halfway through this third quarter. Pascal Siakam and his 28 points will go to the bench. Second leading scorer for Indiana is Nembhard with 10. Halliburton crossover on the right side. Ark will take his 3 over Towns and missed it too strong. He is 3 of 10 tonight. Rebound Bridges, Knicks ball from right to left. New York in white, Indiana in yellow. Left corner 3, Anunoby. Short. Rebound Towns, couldn't secure it, had one hand on it, but then it fell to Toppin. 5 on 4 the other way for the Pacers. Towns hustles to catch up, so Indiana doesn't have numbers anymore, but Nembhard takes Towns into the paint and pulls up for 2 from the dotted line, and it gives Indiana a 5-point lead.
Karl Anthony Towns on that last offensive possession for the Knicks had Obi Toppin posted up, but the Knicks didn't get him the basketball. They got to get some opportunities for guys to get fouled. Free throws will give you a chance to catch your breath.
Brunson at the foul line, dishes to Anunoby. Another try from the near corner. This one's good. Anunoby for 3. It's 66-64 Indiana, 5:10 to go in the third.
Of course, you'll take an open 3 too.
Back-to-back possessions, Anunoby had that look. Halliburton up top. hesitates on the left side, steps back into a three over Towns, and he splashes it home from the far side arc. Tyrese Halliburton, 2 for 7 from 3, but that's a big one to make it a 5-point lead again.
All of his 10 points have come, well, not all.
He had 2 in the second quarter.
Yeah. 8 of his 10.
Brunson leans in, trying to draw a foul on Shepard. No call. Offensive rebound. Hard kick out to Towns. Hits a 3 from the right wing. It's a 3-point parade on both sides now. 2-point game again. 4:35 left in the third. Pacers 69, Knicks 67. Halliburton, left side around a Turner screen. Matched up with Towns again. Top of the arc, crossover from his right to his left and then back again. Between the legs, attacks the right elbow, steps back to the near perimeter. Towns not letting him get free. Steps to the elbow and a late whistle and a foul off an airballed leaner. There was contact from somebody. Bridges came over on help defense. A valiant effort from Karl Anthony Towns for almost the entire possession, but in the end, he was a step too close to Halliburton. Contact on his right shoulder just before the shot went up. And 2 free throws to come with Mitchell Robinson heading for the scorer's table and 2 fouls on Towns.
Respectfully, Tyrese Halliburton is such a yucky. Ooh, it's tough to guard. It's offbeat. It's out of rhythm. It's sort of unconventional. The jump shot, the pull, it's just, and I mean that respectfully to a guy that's all NBA because it is effective, but that, oh man, that's probably maddening to guard, especially in that instance. Karl Anthony Towns was solid for a good 4 or 5 seconds, and then just this last offbeat, awkward-footed fadeaway going to the left. Ugh.
Now, sometimes you can get lost in the shuffle on pick and rolls, pick and pops, depending on the defensive alignment, but we've seen him really hold his own on one-on-one defense against Tatum, Brown, and there against Halliburton, who gets 1 of 2. So just a 3-point Pacer lead. Mitchell Robinson checked in for Towns, as New York will bring it ahead from right to left. Brunson to the top of the arc. Robinson sets him a screen on the right to get him away from Shepard. Bryant steps in, and a right wing 3 from Brunson rattles in to tie the game at 70. Rick Carlisle already at midcourt with a timeout. The Knicks were down by 7 earlier in this third. They've now tied it 70 apiece with 4:01 to go.
We often talk about Jalen Brunson making adjustments. He has done that in this one when it comes to holding on to the basketball. He's got 3 turnovers in this one, a far cry shorter than the 7 that he had in game 1, but he's shooting just over 50% from the field, or just under 50%, I should say, and he is picking his spots so well.
70-70, 4:01 remaining in the third. Game 2, Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks hoping to salvage a split on their home court against Indiana. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
When you open a Corona, you hear the sounds of wherever you are a little differently. A little more Corona. And you think to yourself, why am I just listening? Corona, La Playa awaits. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Total Ortho Express is a state-of-the-art orthopedic care center with 4 Long Island locations: East Meadow, Syosset, Massapequa, and Deer Park. Injuries can happen at any time and can often require immediate attention. Total Ortho Express provides immediate walk-in orthopedic care from highly awarded specialists and surgeons, instead of waiting in an emergency room or a general urgent care. Total Ortho Express is open 7 days a week with extended hours, so that our patients have convenient and immediate access to the care they need. Learn more at TotalOrthoExpress.com.
The days move fast. Deadlines, school drop-offs, dinner plans. Good thing Optimum Fiber doesn't take slow for an answer. Get the fastest fiber internet in the tri-state, starting at $40 a month, so you can. With lightning fast fiber, Optimum Fiber, don't take slow for an answer. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of the New York Knicks. Superior light beer. It is a make or miss league after all. The Knicks misfired on their first 4 3-pointers of this third quarter. Since then, they've made 3 of 3. And they've tied the game at 70 with 4:01 to go in the third. With Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. Gary Jeffries, our esteemed producer. Ray Santiago is actually our producer.
I was about to say, you got new roles?
Gary Jeffries has been elevated to executive producing engineer, and Tyler Freed is staying in his humble statistician role.
Oh, I thought you were going to give him an executive statistician, too. Since
He hasn't earned it quite yet. No.
Okay, got it. It's okay, T.Y. I got your back. You're doing a great job.
We're sponsoring his master's degree. Final 4 minutes, third quarter. It is 70-70. Knicks and Pacers, game 2. Tony Bradley out high, marked by Robinson, nearly poked it away from behind, but he got the handoff complete to Halliburton. He took a hit down low. Double teamed up top by Anunoby, and Bridges spins out of it, finds Toppin long, left wing 3 off the heel. Rebound tipped by Robinson over to Neesmith, and a new possession. TJ McConnell with the ball, steps to the right side mid-range and rolls home a mid-range jumper. 2-point Pacer lead as Deuce McBride is set to check in. Right now it is Brunson, Hart, Bridges, Anunoby, and Robinson. Brunson top of the key, hounded by Neesmith. He's asking for a foul while he's dribbling over toward James Capers. Now he starts playing basketball again. Near side arc, spins away from McConnell, backing him down to the right elbow. Leans in, far side fadeaway, mid-range, good. 72. Brunson's got 22 points.
It's just so fascinating to watch JB work because you see him pounding the rock through all that contact, and you wonder if he's got the lift to knock down a shot, and he usually does.
Good catch from Toppin inside, but he was too far under the hoop. Missed a left-hand layup around Bridges. Josh Hart across the timeline, thinking about knifing into the paint, but the Pacers were ready for it. Tried a backdoor pass for Brunson, but Halliburton and Shepard got hands in there. Halliburton on the right side baseline, met by a Hart, passes to nobody. Jalen Brunson back near midcourt, caught it, saved it near sideline, ahead to Hart. Neesmith fell down, and a wide open layup puts the Knicks in front, 74-72. But off of a make, Toppin goes coast to coast, and he banks home a game-tying layup at 74 all, 2:20 to go in the third.
Okay, a lot just happened, including Jalen Brunson falling into Reggie Miller.
Who?
Yeah.
Brunson step back, left wing 3, short over Neesmith, whistle and a foul. Loose ball foul on Bradley as Mitchell Robinson once again earns a new possession for the Knicks. That is the third foul in the quarter against Indiana, while the Knicks are in the penalty from here.
We're 2:11 away from the end of the third quarter. I think it's important to re-rack and acknowledge that as you head into the fourth quarter, and we talked about this in game 1, LT, I think kudos to us for not getting too carried away, even though the lead looked good for the Knicks considering what ultimately happened. The Pacers are 6-0 in clutch time games in this postseason. The Knicks are 6-3. So both of these teams feel like they can win when it gets tight.
Bridges for 3 off a feed from Brunson. A right angle triple makes it 77-74 New York. And Bridges has his first 3 of the night. But TJ McConnell, in the blink of an eye, slips through the right side of the lane and banks home a righty layup.
Just tough to guard with his speed. He wastes no time. This is off of a make by the Knicks.
1 point New York lead, 99 seconds to go before the fourth quarter. Bridges catches, dribbles to the foul line, pulls up for 2, back rim. Rebound McConnell, off to the races from left to right. Sets up on the high side, mid-range dishes. Cutting Siakam, and he jams it home as McBride was caught underneath on Bradley. It's a 78-77 Indiana lead. Brunson across midcourt. He wants a timeout with 1:18 to go in this third quarter. The Pacers have a 1-point advantage as we head closer and closer to a pivotal fourth quarter in game 2.
Knicks have to really be mindful of the pace the rest of the way. Typically, you would talk about time and score around clutch time of a ball game, which would be 5 points, but I think it applies early in the fourth quarter given how quickly the Pacers score and their confidence in terms of mounting leads late in game, and this one is not even a deficit for them.
15 lead changes tonight. Right now it's Indiana in front, 1:18 remaining in the third. Let's get you the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Best Trails and Travel. Minnesota will host Oklahoma City tomorrow. That's a must-win game. They're down 2-0. And in each of those first two games, they really hung tough in the first half against the Thunder, but one big run or two from Oklahoma City eventually put the game out of reach. So 2-0 Oklahoma City. They are right now the strong favorite to win the NBA championship for the first time in their franchise history. I guess they won one as the Seattle Supersonics in the 70s. But it is an interesting Final Four in the NBA where the Knicks do not have the longest title drought, even though it hasn't been since 1973. These Pacers and those Timberwolves, and technically the Thunder, have never won NBA championships. So parity is very strong right now in the NBA, as you're going to have 7 straight seasons with 7 different champions for the first time ever.
I mean, they've structured the rules so that this would be the outcome.
I love it. Inbound to Robinson. Knicks attacking the basket to our left. They're down 1. Final minute, third quarter. Brunson, high side perimeter on top and crosses him over. Middle of the paint, shrugs him off. Lefty floater drops in off the front rim. And the Knicks have a 1-point lead.
Just great patience by Jalen Brunson. No matter you put quickness, speed, or strength on him, he seems to find a way.
Bradley hops up in the lane, reaching foul by Anunoby. And Tony Bradley, in his 7th year out of North Carolina, will get free throws here with a chance to score his first points of the playoffs. By the way, that was your out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Visit them today for the ultimate travel experience at besttrailstravel.com.
I understand why OG Anunoby makes that foul, but I wonder if Tony Bradley would have taken care of it himself. He didn't look like he was about to make a competent basketball move in my mind.
He missed the first free throw, so it's still Knicks by 1 with 57 seconds left in the third. This might sound facetious, but does OG Anunoby have the scouting report on Tony Bradley, the 12th guy for Rick Carlisle?
I get it. That is the point that I'm making. You and I are on the same page.
Second free throw is good to tie the game 79-79. Inbound comes to Brunson. 2 guys lurking. A screen from Bridges gives him a few free steps, and an inside-out move gets it across midcourt. Now he attacks the left side mid-range, tries to bank it home left-handed. That wouldn't go. He wanted a foul on Bradley. Brunson slow to get up. 5-on-4 the other way for Indiana. McConnell right side baseline drive underneath the hoop. Bounce pass to the far corner for Obi Toppin. Now back up to the top of the arc for Nesmith. Right elbow Siakam directing traffic. Spins on Brunson. Pump fake in the lane to get Robinson off his feet. Draws a foul and banks it in and one. Pascal Siakam, his second three-point play of the quarter, is given Indiana an 81-79 lead with 29 seconds left in the third.
This is a great move by Pascal Siakam, who I have to give a ton of credit to, but it is basically the same move that Jalen Brunson just made on the other side without being able to gather and have the pump fake. But left side of the floor, off the glass, defender makes contact. Now, I'm not saying that every call is going to be perfect, but I do think that as you approach the fourth quarter of a very even basketball game so far, it's going to be important that there be consistency. And we hear Tim say that all the time. Officiating will be what it may. Both teams usually just want consistency.
The good news is, unlike Game 1, the Knicks do have a challenge available at this late stage in the game.
And to that end, Jalen Brunson does not have foul trouble, which was a big theme at this point in Game 1. He just has 1 personal foul so far.
For Siakam, this is the first 30-point game of this playoff run for him. His playoff career high is 37. And with the free throw missing, he still has 32. Knicks cannot go 2 for 1. 19 on the shot clock and 22 on the game clock. 81-79 Indiana. 16 lead changes tonight. Knicks have trailed by as many as 10 and led by as much as 7. Brunson screen up top from Bridges and a foul called on Nembhard. That's the first in the final 2 minutes on Indiana. So that will allow the Knicks to get the final shot of the period, as Karl Anthony Towns will check in. 11.3 remaining, and the shot clock is off.
So obviously, Cat comes in the ball game for your best opportunity in terms of getting a quality look at the basket. Carlisle will also make adjustments, adding Nesmith in for Bradley.
We've seen 22 minutes from Towns and 20 from Robinson tonight.
I think this shot, I don't know who it's going to go to per se, but I think it has to go through the hands of Jalen Brunson.
It comes to Brunson at midcourt. Nembhard picks him up, which has been good news for New York tonight. Backs him down to the foul line. Pump fake, leans in, 2 steps. Left-hand layup is good to tie the game with 2.5 to go. Neesmith from just beyond midcourt. Back rim to heave. We have seen some near makes from the parking lot in the series, but we are tied after 3 quarters, 81-81 here in Game 2.
The way I rolled my eyes on that heave, because it was in fact online, neither here nor there. We head into the fourth tied, and you look at it, Jalen Brunson still leading the way, but you do have 4 Knicks in double figures. Pascal Siakam having a tremendous postseason game, which is why he was my X factor in this one. 32 points on 13 of 18 from the field. Can the Knicks control the pace enough in this fourth quarter and slow this Pacers offense enough to even up the series?
Who is your X factor in the fourth quarter, and does he play for New York by chance?
My X factor I had 2 X factors coming to the game, Pascal Siakam and Mitchell Robinson. But as we move into the fourth quarter, I guess I'm going to go back to Josh Hart, who struggled a bit in this one. He only has 4 points tonight. He does have 5 rebounds. Can he find his way? And that doesn't necessarily mean that he suddenly fills up the scoring column, but can he find his way in terms of making a positive impact on this game?
Anybody's game here in Game 2, 81-81 after 3. And if the Knicks win it, it's anybody's series in the Eastern Conference Finals. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Attention Knicks fans! Looking for infusion care that puts you first? ThriveWell Infusion specializes in delivering cutting-edge therapies for rare diseases and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis. Trusted by physicians across specialties, ThriveWell offers private state-of-the-art infusion suites and slam-dunk treatment from their highly trained medical team. From New York to New Jersey and across Long Island, experience care, comfort, convenience, and compassion like never before at a ThriveWell location near you. Find out more at ThriveWellInfusion.com. That's ThriveWellInfusion.com. Saving lives drip by drip.
New York Presbyterian gives you the healthcare choices you want, like over 450 locations in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester. Virtual care that lets you connect with us digitally. World-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine, and Health Matters, an online source for the latest health and wellness topics and tips. Experience extraordinary healthcare when and where you need it. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. Restrictions apply.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, Passport, or CR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 1.99% APR on a 2025 Ridgeline or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Pilot, 2026 Passport, or 2025 CR-V.
Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details.
Fanatics Fest is making its return to New York City this summer, and it's taking place at the Javits Center from Friday, June 20th to Sunday, June 22nd. At Fanatics Fest, fans can expect appearances by your favorite athletes, celebrities, and entertainers, including Tom Brady, Peyton and Eli Manning, Derek Jeter, Kevin Durant, and so many more. There will be a full schedule of panels featuring the most recognizable names in sports, immersive activations presented by top sports leagues, as well as a trading cards and collectibles area. Tickets are available now at fanaticsfest.com. Look for announcements on their website and social channels.
Fourth quarter about to begin. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This is ESPN New York, WHSQ, WCBS-FM HD2, and WEPN New York.
Tied at 81 after 3 quarters in Game 2. Campaign starts the action in the fourth for New York. Gets it to Bridges, pull-up jumper, short from the right elbow. Neesmith crashes in for the rebound. It is Payne, McBride, Bridges, and then the double bigs, Towns and Robinson on the floor. Those two have been phenomenal this postseason. So is TJ McConnell, at least when he sees orange and blue on the other end. He drills a left elbow jumper to make it 83-81. He had 10 points on Wednesday and now 10 points tonight.
He was a plus 14 in the minutes that he did play on Wednesday, and he's a guy that can make an impact in a ball game in a limited amount of time.
Bridges near side hash mark, gets it to Towns, pump fake to left angle 3, drives baseline, pull up 2, draws a foul on Siakam, and he'll get free throws. That's the third foul on Siakam. Towns has 18 points, and he is 4 of 4 from the stripe tonight. And a chance to tie the game with 11:13 to go in the fourth.
Well, I think it's worth mentioning he's got 7 rebounds to go along with those 18 points. He's got to continue to be able to play in the paint. The Knicks doing really well tonight on 0 boards as well. They had 8 offensive rebounds in the 3 quarters. And part of that is the presence of Karl Anthony Towns. Obviously, a lot of it is Mitchell Robinson as well.
And as expected when the series began, they are owning the offensive glass, doubling up Indiana in both offensive rebounds and second chance points. Shockingly, the Pacers won the second chance points battle in game one as Towns hits the first free throw.
It feels like that happened late.
Yes.
I don't have it in front of me, but I imagine that for 3.5 quarters, the Knicks were ahead in that category. And tonight, you mentioned doubled up. That's 16-8 in second chance points in favor of the Knicks.
Yeah, a lot happens late in game one.
Oh, my God. Literally, the entire script was flipped.
Towns ties the game to the free throw line. He's got 20 and 7 now. It's 83-83. Of course, win the game and then eventually win the series, no one's going to care about game one. McConnell, a crossover on Bridges, but a foul away from the ball before his wide-open layup. We're going to call a foul on the Knicks. Looks like Towns was just wrapping up Miles Turner at the top of the key away from the ball. And I don't know if it was on purpose, but he just saved 2 points because McConnell had blown past Mikal Bridges for an easy 2.
It's not necessarily the way that I would want points saved, but it is the third personal for Karl Anthony Towns. Just keep that in mind.
McConnell at the logo. Pacers from left to right in yellow and blue. Knicks in white and orange. Shepard out high. Inside to a wide open Turner. Dunks it home and one. A late contest from Mitchell Robinson. They double-teamed Ben Shepard.
I don't know. Based on the scramble after that, I don't know if that was intentional or if it was a miscommunication.
That was a miscommunication. No one's ever double-teamed Ben Shepard on purpose, respectfully.
Well, the only reason that I might buy that it could have been intentional is because of how much bigger Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns were. But I agree with you. It is definitely a mistake.
Turner gets a soft bounce on the free throw. 86-83, Indiana.
We used to play a defense, though, that you could call for a double. If you're going to make the mistake, you might as well commit and make it look like it's intentional.
It almost fooled you.
It sure did.
Bridges on the right side wing, screen from both Robinson and Payne, gets into the lane, lefty scoop shot, no, almost an offensive rebound for Mitch, but he does win a new possession because Nesmith ripped it out of his hands, out of bounds, left baseline.
Mikal Bridges is struggling offensively tonight, just 4 of 12 from the field, and it feels like he's either a little short or a little long on layups, especially in the second half.
And Nembhard will come in for Nesmith. Nesmith has taken just 4 shots in the game, held to 7 points after putting the team on his back in the fourth quarter of game 1. 20 points in the final 5 minutes of that comeback. Bridges, far side baseline, backing down Nembhard, 3 to shoot, gets into a turnaround and nails it. You know, he said after scoring 14 points in game 2 against the Celtics as part of that comeback, he said the fact that they ran plays for him, even though he was struggling, was huge for his confidence. They're doing it here again. And on the other end, Turner banks home a mid-range jump shot from the right side and make it a 3-point game.
Well, on the playoffs, Mikal Bridges is shooting 45% from the field, so he should be confident.
McBride just dribbled the ball out of bounds along the left baseline. Josh Hart steps off of the bench and onto the floor, puts his hands out at his sides and yells a few things. I don't think that was directed at the officials, maybe his teammates on the floor. McConnell, dotted line, keeps his dribble to the far corner, zips a pass up top to Shepard. No double team this time. In fact, he's wide open for a 3, and he nails it to force a Tom Thibodeau timeout. 91-85, Pacers by 6. With 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter.
This is where the Knicks can't get tight, right? They can't get tight offensively. They've got to continue to shoot the basketball and execute with confidence. They cannot have unforced turnovers, let alone any turnover. But on the defensive end, they can't play like they are trying not to lose. Josh Hart called that out as a symptom that was ailing them in the Game 1 loss. They've got to play with confidence and look to protect home court if they want to even up this series.
The Pacers have started the fourth quarter so well against a lineup featuring McBride and Robinson, which helped carry them so effectively around this time in Game 1. They outscored the Knicks 10-4 since the end of the third quarter. 91-85, Indiana leads it with 9:57 to go in the final frame. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Step inside an Infiniti QX60 and relax in uninterrupted comfort. Leave schedules, appointments, and meetings behind. That can definitely wait. Just turn on the available massage seats and unwind for just a little longer until you feel infinitely you. Discover more about the Infiniti QX60 crossover at InfinityUSA.com.
Hey, Knicks fans, now at Verizon, they're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's their best price ever on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, they got you. Visit your local Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Get a double-digit bonus exclusively for Knicks fans from Food Bazaar Supermarket. Take $10 off of your order of $50 or more when you shop online at shop.foodbazaar.com. Plus, your first delivery is free. Go to shop.foodbazaar.com and use promo code FANSGET10 for the largest selection of international foods, an all-star lineup of the freshest meat, seafood, and produce, and $10 off of your first order of $50. Use promo code FANSGET10 at shop.foodbazaar.com.
Hey basketball fans, ready for the NBA playoffs? Get in on the action throughout basketball's most exciting time of the year with BetMGM, an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
91-85, Indiana with the lead. It was tied at 81 at the start of the fourth quarter. But a 10-4 burst to begin this final frame for the Pacers as them sniffing another road win after coming back in grand style to steal game one on Wednesday. Get to your local Verizon store today to trade in any phone in any condition, guaranteed. And get a great deal on a new 5G phone with unlimited ultimate. With Monica McNutt, I'm Tyler Murray. We'll say it again. It's not a must-win for the Knicks, but it's as close as it gets. Don't want to be down 2-0 heading to Indiana for Sunday and Tuesday's games 3 and 4. So that question continues: when will they bring in Jalen Brunson? He's played 30 minutes so far. He's still on the bench with 9:55 to go. Campaign stays out there to run the point with McBride, Bridges, and the double bigs, Towns and Robinson. This has been a rare sequence where it hasn't quite gone New York's way with this particular unit out there. Towns, step back, far side baseline, very tough shot off the side of the backboard. Rebound tipped out by Bridges to Payne, top of the key. 2 to shoot. Payne step back, left wing 3 at the horn. That is over the backboard. And the Knicks come up empty. Shot clock violation.
That was an awful possession out of the timeout. The Knicks disjointed, poor shot selection. Not going to get it done.
Fans are getting grumpy here at Madison Square Garden. OG Anunoby will hop off the bench, and right behind him, Jalen Brunson. 9.5 to go in the fourth quarter. It has to be the best 9.5 minutes the Knicks have played all season. McConnell, right side baseline, backing down Bridges, in the lane, kicks out to a wide open Siakam, and he nails a straight-on three-pointer. It's a 9-point Pacer lead, one shy of their largest of the night.
And a 35-point outing for Pascal Siakam.
2 shy of his playoff career high. Pacers have not missed a shot in the fourth quarter, 5 of 5. Payne, step back, straight on 3, whistle and a foul away from the ball. Shepard was grabbing Mitchell Robinson. Now, it seems simultaneous, but they're going to say side out for New York as Payne comes out, Brunson comes in, and Anunoby will check into the game. For Karl Anthony Towns, trying to stop an 11-2 Pacer run. They lead at 94-85 with 9 minutes left.
Everything that the Knicks set out to do has to be deliberate and intentional. They obviously have overcome such deficits and more, but they got to be very intentional here.
McBride, top of the arc, McConnell on his hip, and a whistle and a foul away from the ball. They're grabbing Robinson again, I think. It's the third team foul on Indiana. It's the second foul on Turner. They've got plenty to give across their roster. Only Siakam has 3. And they'll have to foul twice more if they want to get Mitch to the free throw line.
The Knicks have shot 12 of 13 from their free throws tonight, which is much better than what they shot in game 1.
Robinson not part of that. They will hand off to Bridges out high. Pick and roll with Robinson. Right elbow jumper. Bridges rolls it in. 7-point game. 8:43 left in the fourth.
And kudos to this fan base getting a Let's Go Knicks chant going trying to help this team find some energy and confidence in this fourth quarter.
Good defense from Robinson, denying a pick-and-pop three. Up top from Turner. Neesmith drives, fell down. Ball came into the hands of Bridges. Looking for a lane from right to left. He'll find it in the paint. Kicks to Anunoby in the far corner. Dribble handoff to Brunson. Extra pass, far corner three for Bridges. Not this time. And a good box out from Turner kept Robinson away from the offensive board.
The Bridges misses tonight, from three at least, have been soft.
In a good way. McConnell left alone for a left wing triple. Couldn't make the Knicks pay. Too strong.
And the Knicks play the numbers on that one, as that is not a strength of his game.
Long feet ahead. Bridges catches and lays it home. Long pass perfectly placed by Brunson. 4 straight Bridges points. It's a 5-point game.
An impressive, deliberate play. We just talked about nothing being taken for granted by the Knicks. That run out for Bridges was excellent.
So the Pacers seem to intentionally foul Mitchell Robinson twice in a row to get to 3 team fouls. Then they stopped doing it, and the Knicks got 4 unanswered points. So from a 9-point deficit, it is now 5 with 7:55 remaining in the fourth. Indiana 94, New York 89. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
If you think with your stomach, it's time to listen to your ears. Smashburger is calling you, sizzling for you, smashing 100% Angus beef patties all for you. The burgers are hot, the milkshakes are cold, the fries are crisp, and the next order up should and could be calling your name. But only if you listen to me, and your stomach, and your heart. Find the nearest Smashburger at smashburger.com.
You want to get the most for your money. That's why more Mazda buyers choose Ramsey Mazda. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 all-wheel drive, only $249 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. Excludes tax, title, registration, 0 security deposit. VIN SN320885. MSRP $32,285 and $6,225.
Spring has finally arrived, and if you think a new central air conditioning system is out of your budget, think again. Sloman's is here to change the game with our Spring Fling sale. We're now offering cutting-edge 18-SEER 2025 refrigerant-compliant R454B systems, expertly installed by our certified technicians, all at the lowest prices of the year. That's right, get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. And we're including a comprehensive service plan for the first 5 years with annual system checks to keep your AC running smoothly all summer long. Servicing Nassau, Suffolk, and Queens County. Call Sloman's at 516-932-7000 for your free estimate. But hurry, these cool savings won't last. That's 516-932-7000. 18-month promo period, no payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. The offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
Knicks have had 6 unanswered points from Mikal Bridges. A 4-0 run from Bridges. He scored the last 6 for New York. And they're showing the alumni row here at MSG, trying to fire up these Knicks fans. 94-89. Indiana with the lead. 7:55 to go in this fourth and final quarter of Game 2. As the Pacers look to win both on the road in New York. Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at Kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. The Knicks will come out with Brunson, McBride, Bridges, Anunoby, and Robinson. Darren Erman, one of the longer-tenured Knicks assistant coaches, walks along with Robinson almost all the way to midcourt off the bench and has a message or two for him as he returns to play.
Well, the Pacers have 3 team fouls, and so free throws are probably going to come here in this fourth quarter. Mitchell Robinson's got to be able to step to the line with confidence, as do the rest of the Knicks. They've shot 12 of 13 from the free throw line today, missing just 1, but they've given up 17 points off of 13 turnovers, so they've got to tighten up here in the fourth.
Nembhard, Halliburton, Toppin, Neesmith, and Turner, the 5 on the floor for Rick Carlisle. Pacer ball from left to right. They lead by 5. 7:45 to go in the fourth quarter. Halliburton switched on to Robinson, takes him into the paint, and Robinson sends it back. He's hobbling a bit after swatting that layup out of bounds, which is 3.8 to shoot. Skipping a bit, feeling out some kind of discomfort.
He stepped on the heel of Tyrese Halliburton a little bit, so I think he's going to work through this. Just a very awkward landing. Did not roll inside or outside, but just the top of his foot.
Neesmith got free in the right corner off the inbound and nails a three. Brunson yelling at his teammates, or at least yelling at somebody, perhaps himself, as Neesmith got through. It's an 8-point Indiana lead, 7.5 to go.
That was a hell of an inbounds play.
It's Neesmith's time. Anunoby near corner. Shoots a three over. Top in and out. Offensive rebound. Robinson. Kick out to McBride. High side wing. Finds Bridges. Brunson's alone. Left wing triple in the air. Got it! Brunson gets 3 points right back. It's a 5-point game with 7:06 to go.
This defense has to stay connected. Demonstrating frustration after the fact just won't do.
Nembhard attacks the right side of the lane. Draws a foul on McBride on the floor, they'll say. Nembhard wanted the 3-point play, but no dice. 6:59 to go in the fourth. 97-92 Indiana. Of course, Neesmith in game one had just 10 points in the first 3 quarters and then 20 in the fourth. He's now got 3 in the fourth after just 7 entering the frame. Halliburton out high, directing traffic, defended by Bridges. Trying to run a play for Neesmith off a pick. Set a screen on Bridges to get Robinson matched up with Halliburton to the foul line. He'll take a jumper, back rimmed it, long rebound Brunson. Halliburton is 4 of 12 tonight. Brunson on the move, right elbow, backing down Neesmith, up top for Bridges. Pick and pop with Brunson. Everyone went after Brunson, so Bridges goes right to the cup and banked it in. It's a 3-point game.
Excellent two-man game between your two guards. A great read from Mikal Bridges and able to convert at the rim.
97-94 Indiana, 6:24 to go in game two. Turner left alone inside, and a good hard foul from McBride prevented an easy layup. And free throws will come for Turner.
I am not sure what is happening, though, why the Knicks aren't communicating on the switch. Yes, there's multiple screens there, but as I understand it, in terms of switching partners is the language that the Knicks use. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges can switch. So why Miles Turner gets so free, I just think there has to be better communication. It's a one-possession ball game. You'll remember this moment. Well, maybe not as much as Miles Turner missed the first one. But these are the sort of lapses that caused the Knicks to fall apart in game one. You don't expect them to repeat the same mistakes.
Tom Thibodeau was 5 steps onto the court from the far sideline, gesturing to the Knicks about whatever broke down in that last defensive play. Turner gets the second free throw, so it's a 2-possession game now. 98-94 Indiana with 6:17 to go in the fourth. And this Garden crowd sounds like there are 30 seconds left in the game, as Brunson will draw a foul on Neesmith just over midcourt. And the expected reaction from Brunson is to say that's been happening all night. What they'll settle for Neesmith's third foul there. And the third in the quarter against Indiana. No, the fourth in the quarter, so both teams in the bonus from here on out. 6:11 remaining in regulation. Of course, 4 quarters were not enough to determine the victor on Wednesday. Brunson off the inbound, 10 to shoot, pick and roll out high with Robinson, steps back to the right point, defended by Neesmith, crossover, drive to the foul line, step back, jumper, in and out. Rebound, Toppin with a great box out to keep Anunoby away. 5:55 remaining, Siakam and his 35 points about to check in. Nembhard, right side angle, matched up with McBride, screen from Turner, pick and slip, pass inside, Turner's ready layup won't go, but he got his own miss and banked it in for a 6-point lead.
2-possession ball game. The Knicks are getting good looks. Even that last mid-range jump shot that Jalen got danced in the net and sort of pops back out.
McBride runs the offense, now hands to Brunson on the left side. He'll dribble to the right wing, marked by Turner. Skip pass to the near corner for Anunoby. Inside to Robinson, tough catch, but a foul from behind by Nembhard. Pacers are clapping about it as Mitch had an easy jam, but instead will have to take 2 much more difficult shots from the free throw line. Now Brunson is down between the 3-point arc and the logo at the basket to our left. He's now being helped up by McBride and Bridges. And Celtics fans will tell you, not a small part of why you can't give away games in the playoffs is the more games you have to play, the more miles you put on your team, and put yourself at injury risk, because Brunson is on his feet, but he's got his hands on his knees, tucking the bottom of his shorts.
Yeah, and it's no secret that the 6-game series prior to this one for the Knicks, both were physical, both were grueling. Meanwhile, the Pacers so far in this postseason have been making light work of their opponents in 5 efficient games.
First free throw is a line drive off the back rim. It went high in the air like Halliburton's, but did not drop. Knicks were outscored by 3 points in the third quarter and now by 6 in the fourth. 3 blocks tonight for Mitchell Robinson. And 1 free throw. Line drives the second one home. It's a 5-point game. 5 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Both teams in the bonus. From left to right goes Halliburton. Over to the right side. Arc crosses over Brunson. Screen from Turner. Dishes right to the corner for Siakam. Now back to Halliburton near sideline. Matched up with Robinson. 6 to shoot. Halliburton between the leg dribble a couple of times. Now a third. Lost the handle up top. 1 to shoot. Chucks a 30-footer. Almost rattled it in from the near side arc. But the rebound comes to Bridges.
This was such a deja vu moment to that last play at the end of regulation in game 1.
Bridges knifes inside under the hoop, keeps his dribble, baseline leaner, gets the roll off the back rim and down. It's a 3-point game, just under 5 minutes to go.
Mikal Bridges is finding his way. He now has 18 points. He's 20 points, excuse me. He's been big in the fourth.
100-97 Indiana. Halliburton near sideline. Brunson gets the matchup. Drives into the foul line, in the paint, kick out to Turner, wide open as Robinson came over to help, and Turner drills it in front of his bench to give Indiana a 6-point lead.
Both teams have shooting bigs. Miles Turner comes into this one in the postseason shooting 45% from 3.
That was his first tonight, 1 for 3. Brunson, left side wing as the crowd has been hushed a bit. 8 seconds to shoot, 4 to play, spins left side on Nesmith and missed a lefty layup, but a foul is called. Nesmith has 4. And Brunson will get 2 free throws. If he makes 1, he will pass Patrick Ewing for the most 30-point playoff games in franchise history. But he's more concerned about getting this back to a 4-point game.
Tyrese Halliburton, while he only has 11 points, he does have a double-double in this one with 10 assists and 6 rebounds. So flirting with a triple-double potentially in this ballgame, although he'd have some work to do in the rebounding category.
Brunson's got 10 assists as well. And 30 points as he makes the first free throw. So they're down by 5 with 4:06 to go in the fourth. And that's the thing about Halliburton. He's such a good passer that in round 1 against Milwaukee, the three-pointer wasn't really falling. So what did he do? He averaged 12 assists a game against the Bucks. Brunson's second free throw with a smattering of MVP chance drops in there. So Brunson's got 31. He's broken Patrick Ewing's record. And he's made it a 4-point game with 4 minutes left. 1 timeout for the Knicks, 2 for the Pacers. Nobody has a foul to give. Brunson marking Halliburton, top of the key. Halliburton sizes him up. Quick trigger 3, drilled it. Tyrese Halliburton once again saving his best for last. He assisted on a Turner 3. Now he makes one of his own. It's a 7-point Pacer lead.
An absolute battle of terrific point guards in this postseason.
Brunson to Robinson, pick and roll. Pocket pass, Robinson catches, drives, tried the jam. It goes straight off the backboard into Nembhard's hands. 3.5 to go, Pacers by 7. This one's teetering. Right wing Nembhard, one-hand catch up top to Nesmith. Good contest from Hart, missed it wide left. Offensive rebound, but a foul called first. Siakam will get to the free throw line. That's the 5th Knick foul. Brunson picks up his 2nd, and now he can feel a little bit of nervousness across the Garden crowd. The Knicks do not have much more margin for error. They are down 7. It could be 8 or 9 at the free throw line with 3:23 left in game 2, a game they cannot afford to lose.
I have real question about that last pass to Mitchell Robinson, who has been terrific in this ball game, but is not looked to as a scorer. Jalen Brunson was on the three-point line and open. Mr. Clutch himself. But that's neither here nor there.
Karl Anthony Towns has been sitting for the last several minutes. Siakam got the first. And 2 for 2. Back to a 9-point lead. Pacers have led by as many as 10. The Knicks only have 1 timeout left. And it looks like they've intentionally fouled Mitchell Robinson. Of course, you can't sub out for a shooter. So Tom Thibodeau is between a rock and a hard place unless Mitch can start making some free throws.
These would be big free throws by Mitchell Robinson. But as you observe, again, it is the Pacers that seem to be the more energetic team late in the fourth quarter. Tyrese Halliburton, I'm not sure if he was talking to his teammates or talking to the crowd, but he's doing more talking than any Knick on the floor.
First free throw misses in front of a dead silent crowd. Knicks on the far sideline, tentatively clapping their hands. P.J. Tucker looks stoic on the far end of the bench to the left side. Robinson gets the second. It's an 8-point game, 3:21 to go. Unfortunately, we've very recently learned the lesson that this game is not over until the final horn.
But in this case, that should give hope for the Knicks.
Nembhard on the right wing. Good closeout from Anunoby. Skip pass left side for Siakam. Couldn't drive past Robinson. Goes to the foul line and missed a pull-up. Rebound Hart. Towns about to check in. Final 3 minutes. Knicks down 8. Brunson into paint. Took a hit. Finds Robinson left corner. Not a good spot for him, so he hands off to Brunson. Pump fake to corner 3. Reload. Launches. Missed it. Rebound tipped off the hands of Anunoby. He was right there but couldn't secure it. 50-foot outlet from Halliburton to Siakam. And he hits a right-hand layup to give Indiana their largest lead of the game. 110-100. 2:40 left.
And it is ironic, poetic that basket comes in transition, a thing that the Pacers do so well.
Brunson, left side drive, finds Hart in the left corner. Good closeout from Nembhard. Picked up his dribble. Hart's in trouble, and then Anunoby and Siakam went down hard to the free throw line. That's going to allow Robinson to come out for Towns and give free throws to Anunoby. With 2:25 left in the fourth, the Knicks are down 10. The Pacer comeback on Wednesday was down 9 with 58 seconds to go. They were down by 14 at this point in the game. And the Knicks, with these free throws, can get quite a bit closer.
OG Anunoby, as I discussed often, had a couple in game one as he knocks down the first that he did not convert on both. That could have been big. Opportunity to rewrite here at this free throw line as he knocks down the first.
Anunoby could have made it a 3-point game, and so Halliburton's foot on the line would have cost Indiana the game. But who knows how differently they would have approached that possession had they needed a 3 just to tie. Anunoby gets both. It's 110-102. 2.5 minutes left in game 2. That's how close Indiana is from winning both on the Garden floor in the Eastern Conference Finals. Halliburton from left to right across the timeline. Towns comes in for Robinson. Starting 5 on the floor for New York. Nembhard plays catch with Halliburton on the near side. Now to the far mid-range. It is Siakam. A tough contested 2. Rolls in and out. Rebound tipped by Turner. It comes to Halliburton. And a back-breaking extra possession for Indiana. Final 2 minutes, fourth quarter. 8-point lead. Still with possession. Halliburton straight on. Crosses over. Right wing. 3 over Bridges. Air ball out of bounds. Right baseline. So the Knicks will have it down 8 with 1:50 to go.
Knicks are very, very fortunate after giving up that offensive rebound that the Pacers didn't convert on that second chance opportunity. But there's not a lot of time to play with here.
Screen at midcourt from Towns. Brunson on Nembhard, left side crossover. Walk-up three-pointer. Nailed it. Knicks needed that one. 5-point game. 100 seconds to go.
This defense has to stay connected, has to communicate.
Brunson's got 34, 20 apiece from Towns and Bridges. Will it be enough? 90 seconds left, 14 to shoot. Need a couple stops here. Halliburton down the lane, left side, dishes right for Turner. Pump fake to 3, sidestep, reload, in the air, short. Rebound batted around, it comes to Bridges. 1:18 left. Knicks ball down 5, from right to left they come. Crosses over Nesmith. Brunson took a hit up top, no call. Crossover again at the foul line, in the lane, tough floater, around and down. Brunson's got 5 unanswered. It's a 3-point game, and Rick Carlisle calls timeout. 66 seconds to go, and the Garden has come alive again.
The Brunson burner, Captain Clutch, has put on his cape. It's not over yet. This defense has to communicate. And even in your best defensive effort, you have to have enough respect for Tyrese Halliburton, both as a scorer late in game and a facilitator. It's maximum effort here over this next 106.
They were down 10 points with 2:25 to go. So in 70 seconds, they've gone on a 7-0 run to make it a 3-point game. 1:06 remaining in game 2. Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. Down the last few minutes of the fourth quarter and overtime in game 1, it wasn't necessarily the offense that sputtered for New York. Yes, there were turnovers, but they were also creating some open shots. It really was the defense that allowed Indiana to go on what ultimately was a 20-4 run over the final 2 minutes and 45 seconds of regulation. So needless to say, defense, if they want to pull off this comeback, is going to be a lot more important than anything else.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, tonight, Pascal Siakam is a point shy from a 40-point outing. And so whoever's on him has to take that assignment absolutely personal. But then, of course, you look at Tyrese Halliburton, who has 14 points, 11 assists. He's had 3 assists in this fourth quarter, just 3 points in this fourth quarter. But the assists are important because he's been able to force this Knicks defense to collapse and then spray the shooters in the corner.
Nembhard will inbound, 66 seconds to go. Knicks were down 10 with 2.5 to go. Nembhard almost had a 5-second violation, but finds Siakam, who's got a playoff career-high 39 points tonight. Hands to Halliburton, 16 to shoot, 57 to play. At the logo, passes left to Nesmith, catches, drives into paint, tough runner, won't go over Hart, but the rebound's tipped right back to him. 10 on the shot clock, new possession, Halliburton has it at midcourt, 45 to play. Now 6 to shoot, 3-point lead and the ball. Siakam left side, drives on Bridges, step back, far side baseline, in and out, tipped out toward the midcourt logo, and Anunoby has it. 33 seconds left. Knicks ball, they can tie with a 3. 18 on the shot clock, 110-107 Indiana. Brunson, high ball screen from Hart, left wing, shrugs off Nesmith, still defended by Nesmith, pick and roll from Hart. Now it's Halliburton on Brunson, 6 to shoot, step back up top, inside to Hart, all alone, banks home a layup, and it's a 1-point game. 110-109, Pacers with the lead, 14.7 left. Inbound is a foul call on Brunson. Nesmith went down and lost the ball out of bounds near sideline. Brunson is not arguing, and Nesmith, with just under 15 seconds left, will get 2 free throws. He cannot make it a 2-possession game. The Knicks, in the matter of 2 minutes and 10 seconds, have gone on a 9-0 run to absolutely make this a basketball game, with each team still holding on to 1 timeout.
A tremendous demonstration of focus by the Knicks to close this gap. Immediately after he scored that layup, Josh Hart signaled to the rest of his team so that everyone would be on the same page that they were going to foul.
The Knicks do have a challenge remaining. There were a lot of 50-50 calls.
There's no way to challenge that when Jalen Brunson has a full-handed jersey.
There were a lot of 50-50 calls down the stretch of Game 1. I think not so much here in Game 2, but if and when they do pop up, the Knicks will have that tool in their arsenal. And for Nesmith, who hit 5 of the most clutch threes of his career on Wednesday, he needs 2 clutch free throws to make it a 2 or 3-point Indiana lead. First one is perfect. It is 111-109. 14.7 to go in the fourth quarter. 2-point Pacer lead.
Now, the last couple of possessions, the Knicks have been fortunate to ultimately come up with the basketball, but it has been offensive rebounds for the Pacers. So should Nesmith miss this one, the Knicks have to have this rebound.
At the basket to our right, Nesmith takes 2 dribbles, spins the ball, and the second foul shot is good. 3-point Pacer lead, inbound to Brunson. Still in the backcourt with 12, across midcourt with 10, top of the key, walk-up three-pointer. Too strong, Turner fumbled the rebound. Who's got it? Turner secures it. Foul called on New York. 4.2 left in the fourth quarter, and the season is approaching the brink. 112-109 Indiana. They are 1 free throw away from essentially icing this game and taking both on the road in New York.
Jalen Brunson got the look that he wanted. He shoots it long. It bounces off the back iron. And now Miles Turner with an opportunity to salt this one away.
And it will be salt in the wound if Indiana, with the game on the line, was able to make the free throws that the Knicks weren't in Game 1. And that's what Turner does. Nesmith made 2 to make it a 3-point game. Knicks could not tie it with a 3. And Turner off the front rim and in extends the advantage to 113-109. The Knicks missed 12 foul shots on Wednesday. They're 18 of 21 tonight. But they will need a timeout, a 3, a steal, and a quick shot to avoid going down 2-0.
This is just a brutal matchup for the Knicks as far as the depth of the Indiana Pacers. It continues to show itself.
Timeout, Tom Thibodeau. 4.2 left as both free throws go for Miles Turner. 114-109. And understandably, fans are headed for the exits. 5-point lead with just 4 seconds left. The Knicks were down 10 with 2:25 to go. Anunoby made 2 free throws. Brunson hit a 3 and then a floater. And then Hart hit a layup. 9-0 run. But then Nesmith, and the Knicks were in a position where they had to foul. 15 seconds left. The shot clock was off. They were down by 1. He made both. Brunson missed a 3 off the dribble from the top of the arc. And Turner made his free throws to put the Knicks against the ropes. Sunday's Game 3 in Indiana. And unfortunately, that really is a must-win for New York now.
You really wonder if this team is going to be able to find the energy necessary to give you a full 48 with the cadence of this Eastern Conference Final schedule. They will travel tomorrow. They will play on Sunday. Games are every other day in both series in order to stay on the calendar as you look ahead toward the NBA Finals. And if this one holds, LT, it makes Game 1's outcome even more stinging.
Well, that's the problem. When Reggie Miller did the choke sign, Knicks fans throughout history have been able to say that New York came back and won that series. Well, they're going to have to win 4 of the next 5 games against Indiana if they want that same reality here 30 years later. Game not over yet. Inbound from the far sideline from Brunson. It comes to Hart up top. Hand back to Brunson at the logo. Takes 2 dribbles. Hoists from the top of the arc, and he bricked it wide right. Indiana has come to the Garden and won both games on the road to take a commanding 2-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Back to Indiana. Indiana's the real deal. They started the season 10-15, finished the regular season 40-17, and they are now 10-2 in the playoffs, 6-1 away from home. Pat O'Keefe will help us break this one down. And at this point, you hope the Knicks can find a way to get back to the Garden before season's end. They're down 2-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals as Indiana holds them off 114-109 in Game 2. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.